to the thing.
You of us kids and the millions listening live around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for the round the table.
Works. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you're listening to us, however you're listening to us, either YouTube, Patreon, Spotify, or you're pirating us, and that's wrong. Welcome to the greatest podcast in the IWC. We are Roundtable Wrestling. I'm with the A team right now. I have my guys. I'm going to name them and tell you their gimmicks because we're a wrestling podcast and we have gimmicks. It's a thing. Get used to it. Righty. To my north, we have Keith the Wild Man Miller.
Hey, and it's only okay to pirate if you're Paul Burchill.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Shout out to Burchill. He's only going by Burchill in NWA right now.
Is he still wrestling? Good Lord.
Oh yeah, he came back after a while.
That,
he's bald and he was just wrestling somebody recently. Not a pirate anymore.
Oh.
Not a pirate
I don't know
anymore.
what happened to his hot sister either.
Oh, yeah. She went to TNA for a while and then kind of disappeared.
Petered out.
Yeah.
Right.
She's a witch, right?
Man Miller, like we said. His gimmick is that he is always wrong on PLEs.
And
it's fun. Sometimes you just gotta play around with the English language, right? Not
indeed.
All right. I have David D-Lo Logan with his Los Guerreros in the background.
Gotta get my familiar back here.
His gimmick is that he is awesome and he's from Maryland and he is not a Washington fan, but that's okay because he will be just like everybody else in Maryland.
Beam all day.
Spicy.
Hey,
but then will he be a bad?
NFL.
We got Al Boogie. Come on, Jackson.
Big Trust.
Go, Larry Bird.
Come on, Big Trust.
It's like Jaden Daniels, but like B tier.
Oh,
right. We have all the way from Boston, the Bostonian Johnny Boston here.
Way out there.
He is way out there. His gimmick is that he is John Cena's heel turn incarnate. Yes, indeed. We had a great week for Bostonians named Johnny.
Right?
That's literally what you can't do during the intro. We had a good week for Bostonians named Johnny and a bad week for black people named Travis.
Hey now.
Right. Speaking of a total Chad, we have Chad Big Dun Vandermark who just came in. Say hello to him, everybody.
What up, Chad?
Chad,
welcome
as well.
Welcome to my world.
Welcome to my world. Chad's gimmick is that he does not like TNA, but he is coming along.
Yes.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Yes, he's trying. He's trying to watch more women's matches as well. We're gonna get him on board. And then last,
Megan Bain is dope.
Yes, she is.
She's pretty good. Yeah, she's pretty good.
I'm looking for her to be champion soon. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm looking to actually be able to finish a freaking AEW show.
AEW.
I don't know about that. Yeah. And last, but maybe least, depending on who you're asking, we have me, one of your distinguished hosts, because I made up that word, aka Sliced Bread number 1,
Hey now.
a Jalen Brown, because I don't go left because I'm only right. Mama's spirit animal, the compassionate one, the Archie.
The Archie.
Because I don't see anything.
Wait. He did he say the Archie?
Art?
I am the Archie, the King Arthur of the Round Table.
Archie.
I'm just hey, I'm getting my stuff off as low as
Good Lord.
Kelly Knight said. I have to get my stuff off.
Gotta get all his shit in.
I am
Yeah.
Pablo Aquino. And then,
Hell
like I said, this is all of
That
us.
Dragon Slayer there. You don't have enough titles.
yeah.
I'll be working on more. I have a long list.
Hell yeah.
And also shout out to everybody out there listening to us, everybody watching.
As long as it's scroll.
We loved seeing y'all on the two sweets for all y'all. We loved seeing y'all on the watch along for Elimination Chamber, which I thought was pretty darn epic.
You know,
No.
I didn't get the chance to stop in for more than a minute, but I did watch a couple episodes of it over the week, and I gotta say, dude, that was too fun to miss the next one. I'm hoping the next time it's it's AEW or Impact, so I don't feel weird about watching it. But even if it's WWE, I'll try and pop in.
Sound like you cheating on it, huh?
Hey, it's been a.
I mean, we can do a TNA watch along.
I'm not sure if we can do TNA because I don't even know.
I
don't even know if I get there.
I got 5 TNA.
Well, I mean, I could watch it, and you guys could just listen to me.
I mean, we can do that. Because I can do that.
I'm gonna watch you watch.
You can watch me watch it, yeah.
As long as you're wearing like mirrors, or we could do a Revolution tomorrow night.
What's going on tomorrow night?
Revolution.
Oh yeah,
AEW.
No. They still make you pay for the pay-per-views. I'm not paying for an AEW pay-per-view when I can't even watch the whole damn show. Like I can't even.
Speaking of the whole damn show,
I ain't paying for a goddamn pay-per-view in 2025.
Shout out to RVD references.
I mean, the whole damn show.
I'm not calling them please.
Play.
You said please.
Did you watch the play over the weekend?
No, I watched the pay-per-view, goddammit.
The play. The PLE.
I had to pay per viewing.
Right.
I had to pay. So why
right, let's circle
the PLE?
Let's circle the wagons, ladies and gentlemen, and see where we're at here. What are we talking about this week?
Woo!
All right. One thing I want to mention is that we have new champion alerts.
Hey now.
Interestingly enough, there was actually a few title changes, major title changes. And I think it's something under the new Triple H regime where, like, you could almost call it, if there's a main event that has a championship, it's changing hands.
Yeah.
I feel like the last few weeks it's been that way. I'll talk about the one that happened earlier this week. Io Sky won the championship from Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Shocking myself.
That shocked me. I'm gonna lie.
It was shocking, and I'm not sure what this leaves for Rhea, but congratulations to Io Sky because she's very good, and it's going to be her second year in a row, I believe.
Yes, second year in a row WrestleMania, going into WrestleMania as a champ.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And shout out to surprise title changes. You know, like that's something that's beautiful. It makes it must watch.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw the promo after where Rhea was talking about friends not working out and that she feels alone and she was kind of acting manic. I think Rhea's gonna turn heel.
Oh, I didn't see that. Where was that at?
Oh yeah,
was that on the same
I saw it posted a couple different times. I don't know if it was actually on the show or if it was like one of those backstage gimmicks that they do.
I didn't see it,
but
backstage.
Yeah. So it was like on their YouTube channel. But yeah, I feel like Rhea could turn heel. I feel like even if she doesn't turn heel, she's over regardless. You know, like that. You know, she doesn't need the belt. Whereas Io Sky having the belt elevates her and reinforces the fact that she's one of the best wrestlers in the ring. You know, period.
I could see them turning Rhea heel, especially if they were going. If they were gonna try and make her like a Stone Cold Steve Austin, where she's like a tweener, where she'll attack
sure.
anybody and get a cheer reaction from the crowd.
There's so many
I
tweeters
feel
in
like that's
WWE now, anyway. You know, like
right,
it's
and
kind
I
of a
feel
thing.
like
Yeah,
they tried to get rid of them once Moxley left, and I feel like she's the closest thing I've seen to somebody that's really gonna go she's gonna go the heel route, she's gonna go the babyface route, and now I think she's gonna go the in between ultra violent route.
sure, I could see
And
it.
it could just be me, but
Ultra-violent.
John Cena.
Yeah, yeah.
Say his name and he appears.
John Cena's a robot. How many times did I say that, dude? Oh my god, I said it 18 times probably.
For
You
real.
did actually, and I
Yeah.
counted. He did seem like a robot. We will get
He did.
that in
Yeah.
a second, because that's
Yeah.
obviously one of our biggest, probably the biggest thing in wrestling that has happened in the last 15 years, if I'm being honest.
Right.
When was the Hogan turn?
96.
96.
Yeah, I was born.
So
Yeah,
I'd
so-
say almost 30.
Yeah, which is-
Right.
I have something to say about that real quick. It's kind of a question.
Mhm.
Now, I saw Eric Bischoff say that John Cena turning heel was not nearly as big as Hogan doing it in '96. What does everybody think?
If I could, I wanted to get to that, but if
Yeah,
I
let's
could
talk about that later. Yeah,
after we
yeah.
talk
All
about
right,
it.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I was just asking. My bad.
Oh, good.
No, you're good, dude.
No,
I was gonna get to
I
that.
was gonna bring that same point up, so good. I'm glad it's on the docket.
Yeah. It's honestly the first thing I thought of was all the NWO comparisons.
That's
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that was
yeah.
pretty much, they were throwing those left and right, and that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about, do a
Yeah.
roundtable of
Okay.
how
for
we
sure.
feel about where that stands. But yeah, one of the biggest things that happened. Another big thing that happened I think the very next day after Io Sky won her championship is that Shawn Spears won his first championship ever in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
Gotcha.
Tony Dillinger ever won a championship, and he hadn't won anything at all since he came back. I thought he was
No.
just spin talent for the new people in NXT, but now he is the new North American champion.
Shocker.
Can I just say how much I hate that?
You hate the title switch, or that Shawn Spears was title?
I hate the title switch, and I hate that Shawn Spears has it.
Why is that?
Well, they built Shawn Spears in the back instead of in the ring, which I don't like.
Yeah.
You know, barely seen him wrestle.
I feel like they built them more in AEW than WWE, and they're taking what AEW built and rolling with it, which is bizarre for them, but not entirely unheard of either. It's
Right.
just,
I mean, they did it with Ethan Page too. You know, when he came over from
absolutely.
TNA.
Absolutely. When
but
he
the other
joined
thing
NXT,
is,
they put a rocket in his butt.
yeah, the other thing is, Tony D'Angelo is extremely talented, man. Like that guy has
100%.
Yeah, such good matches.
100%.
It looks
And I like watching him wrestle. And what seems like happens in NXT, people drop belts and then they just freaking disappear.
Yeah.
You know, and
They
so
don't
I'm
even sink down the card; they fall off the show.
yeah.
entirely.
So, and I'm thinking there's a chance that Tony D'Angelo may not be on TV as much, a la Charlie Dempsey. You know, I don't like it. I like watching Tony D'Angelo wrestle. So
No,
But I
so
feel
yeah,
like
it's
will happen.
disappointing.
What I feel like will happen because of this is that they might be leading to a Stacks against Tony D match.
Yeah, and I don't know if people have been watching Evolve, but the other guy, who's not the underboss, the other guy, the accountant or whatever his gimmick is.
Oh, Crucifino.
Yeah, I just didn't know how to say his name. Crucifino is in Evolve
Okay.
pretty much as a heel. I mean, he cut a heel promo, and he's talking about anything that happens in Evolve has to go through him.
Okay.
So it's interesting. Like, I do think that Stax is going to turn on D'Angelo for not listening to him, and like, you know, it's time for him to be the boss. And Crucifino seems to be doing his own thing in Evolve. I mean, I don't know, you know, so it's
But
interesting.
that leaves them, yeah, because they're in a strange situation. The Tony D family.
Yeah.
We'll
I did like Rizzo leaping across the freaking across the ring onto Izzy Dame. That was cool because Rizzo is not a very good wrestler, but I mean, it's cool when she can do fun stuff because most of the time she just stands there, you know. But yeah,
Speaking of not a good wrestler, no, I'm kidding.
AJ Francis, AJ Francini.
We'll always mention him for that.
He's the highest paid wrestler in TNA. They said.
Yeah, that's
Absurd.
what they said.
Because
He had
his
a
literal
great.
singlets made him money.
Who did he wrestle
What a
on
good
Thursday?
agent.
PCO and like 2 other people.
No, he had a match on Thursday. I can't remember who it was with, honestly. But yeah.
Obviously,
Oh, Macklin. Macklin. He wrestled Macklin on Thursday.
yeah, Macklin's a beast.
Yeah, it was passable because Macklin was in it, you know. But
Older
Yeah,
guy, but
Macklin,
still a good worker.
Macklin's another.
yeah,
Okay, the other that just happened last night, breaking the fourth wall. This is Saturday, March 8th. The one that happened last night, which
Yeah.
I kind of figured would happen, but it also shows you how anemic they are with certain wrestlers from certain parts of the world.
Yeah.
But LA Knight regained his championship from the person that took it from him only a few months ago and did nothing with it. Shinsuke Nakamura.
nothing.
Not a thing. So
Yeah.
we got a brand new gimmick, a brand new entrance, a brand new feel for Shinsuke, just for him to kind of flounder with it,
Win a
not
belt,
really
lose a belt.
have much,
Nope.
and lose it to LA Knight pretty much clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bizarre where they're not going with Shinsuke.
They could have put Shinsuke in the ring with, you know, with guys who can keep up with him and had good matches and gotten people behind him. I mean, I get it. Like, I don't know. Io Sky is a different thing than Shinsuke Nakamura, but at the same time, like, I don't understand why they couldn't promote him better and made the championship matter with him holding it. It's just weird. And I really like LA Knight. Like, I like his,
Yeah.
I think he's passable in the ring. I think that he does a good job with the crowd, obviously. But I also feel like it could get stale. You know what I mean? If it's there every single
Agreed.
freaking week with
And
a belt.
I feel like that happened.
Yeah.
Hey, I feel like he was really, really like red hot on the mic, and like, he left TNA because they wanted him to wrestle Tessa Blanchard, and that was
Right.
like he refused. That was like the dumbest thing in the world. He made
Yeah.
a stand about not beating women in a performative combat sport.
He wasn't going to beat her.
Are you
Right.
serious?
And I mean, that might have been what it was too. She's a third of his size and she was the world champ and she was probably going to beat him.
Right.
You know? So, I mean, there's that. That might have been the, more of the thing that I don't want to beat
Ego
women. Yeah.
too, you know what I mean, for sure. But is what he was trying to justify it as, basically saying, no, I got booked for this match and I refuse. And
I mean,
that's a weird way to do business.
Yeah. It happens though.
But
I mean,
again,
he could have just done the Kurt Hennig.
Nonsense aside, sorry, I trailed off.
Yeah.
It
No, you're
was his mic work that caught my eye initially. Like, I thought he was really,
Right.
really good on the mic. Then his matches got better, and I feel like it's the same thing in WWE. He's really good on the mic. His matches are getting better and better, but he needs more than just yelling "yeah" after everything, because like you said, it's gotten.
Yeah.
That's why him and Lance Storm were such a good tag team.
Oh,
Beer and go, yeah.
yep.
It just make it work.
Make
So,
a goofy face on the corner.
Did I say
every now and
Lance
then.
Storm? I meant to say James Storm, but either way.
I knew what you meant too. Was the worst
Yeah.
part, and I still
Yeah.
went, yeah, Lance Storm from ECW. He's the guy.
Yeah.
My brain.
Lance Storm even drink?
I
If
don't
he
believe
does,
so.
it's Molson. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments if you know Lance Storm, if he drinks.
If he even drinks, yeah.
If he doesn't,
I can't imagine him drinking more than a drink on any given social event.
What
but
if Lance
I've been on
Storm
before,
gets
man.
blotto? Like, what if he is freaking
Right.
parties hard
Just
You
hits
know,
the
like-
elliptical for 4 hours the next
Yeah,
morning.
you just don't, you just don't know. Like,
imagine that I just imagine being Canadian and all of that. He super kicks trees and drinks the maple syrup out of it.
he probably does.
Pretty much.
Probably
Pretty much.
like a manly man.
Yeah.
Speaking
Yeah.
of manly men, I want to talk less. Ayo, I want to
Hey.
talk less about the championships and more about the media side. Interesting
Browsers.
stuff
Oh,
that
oh, oh.
happened. One, I
He
want to
was
give
fun.
we want to give a shout out to the newest WWE inductee. If you guys had seen the video, Lex Luger was at DDP Yoga with Diamond Dallas Page, obviously the founder of DDP Yoga, working on being able to walk again and not be in a wheelchair. And then he got a surprise from Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes came out and hugged him and said, on behalf of WWE, we want to announce that you are going to be in the Hall of Fame class of 2025. So congratulations
Bravo.
That's
Yeah.
Thank you.
the great Lex Luger. And I do hope that he is able to walk to that podium in triumph.
Yeah, that'd be
I hope
fire.
he's able to
Lord knows.
run up and do a friggin' cartwheel, man. And not for nothing, Diamond Dallas Page really, he does some like living saint on earth.
Yes, he does.
With that yoga, man.
He's a
I've
real
actually
tough
talked
guy.
to DDP a
He's
little
helped
bit.
a lot of people. He's helped Jake the
he's
Snake Roberts.
so unbelievable.
He's helped a
Scott
few
Hall.
other people, Tommy Dreamer, some other people that have
Scott
gotten.
Hall.
Yeah,
Hall.
Scott
Scott
Hall,
Hall. I
Scotty
followed him.
Riggs.
I followed him a
If
bunch
I
on
could-
Instagram.
If I
So
could quickly interrupt because segues,
Good segues.
you're spot on with everything except
Mhm.
Lex Luger is no longer the most recent inductee.
Oh, did they induct
Yeah.
someone else? No, did they
This
announce someone else?
morning, this
Two
morning,
other people, I
it was
think.
announced that the natural disasters will be going in the
Yup.
Hall
Oh,
of Fame.
cool.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey,
Good
I
for
saw
them.
that the other day. I saw
Half
that before I heard about the
posthumously.
Luger one.
Really?
Good
Oh,
old
wow.
Fred-
Maybe I
Fred
just got it
Hartman.
out of order. I thought it was announced this morning.
No, Fred Ottman announced it himself like 3 days ago or 2 days
That's
ago.
awesome. That's awesome.
Okay.
I'm so glad at least one of them's still alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. I thought that
Shout
was
out-
dope as hell. And
shout
I
out to
know
the
Fred
natural
Ottman.
disasters.
Ottman was really happy about it. Let me tell you.
Awesome.
But Demolition are on their way in too. Like,
Yep.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah.
Demolition's
question.
going in this year as well, I think.
yeah, no
It'd
question.
be good.
Axe and
If-
Smash.
I don't even know if they've announced that yet or not.
Axe Smash and Crush.
I was gonna say I just
Bringing Crush too.
pondering.
They didn't. They
I don't
didn't.
think they'll induct Crush as part of
I don't think so either. They didn't mention
Nah.
Crush. They only mentioned Axe and Smash.
Well, Crush was
Like if
also
the
he was-
Dudleys and Spike Dudley didn't go in, like that's kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah, fair. And Spike
Well,
should have gone in with
Spike
them.
should have
And
gone in with
And what
them,
about
and
all those? What about all the other Dudley, like Big Dick
Big
Dudley
Dick
and all
Dudley
them
should
others?
have gone in posthumously for his work in ECW.
I mean, honestly, Big Dick Dudley was the only other Dudley that counted.
Dances with Dudleys have the
I
funniest.
knew you were
goddamn
going to say
name
dancing
in
with
the
Dudley.
history of wrestling. All right.
Um,
Other than that, though, yeah, none of the Dudleys mattered. Yeah, you're right, except for the Big
Yeah.
Dick and the main three.
Oh my brother, testify.
Stein guy.
well, sign guy, yeah.
Stein guy
Stein
Dudley
guy.
was up there.
Speaking
Louis
of
Dangerously.
controversy and WWE Hall of Famers, newest inductee Michelle McCool is replacing Mickey James on the LFG in season 2. And I'm not sure how to feel about it. It might be some background politics, being that Undertaker is obviously Michelle McCool's husband.
Right.
No.
So,
It's too bad wrestling talent isn't an STD.
yeah.
I'll say it. What were you gonna say, Keith?
Alrighty
Well, I was
then.
just going to say, until someone makes an official comment, I kind of have a hard time believing like backstage news is the word is yada yada. But I
Well-
read something where the Undertaker suggested Michelle
Yep.
for a coaching spot.
Yep.
And the producers of the show wanted to make him happy, so they planned on bringing her in, but he supposedly was thinking there'd be 2 women coaches. Like he wasn't saying get rid of Mickey James. He was saying
the way they played
bring
it
in my wife.
the way they played it on the show was that Michelle McCool just showed up to help.
Yeah.
And
All
went
right.
under
Yeah.
So I heard 2 different things.
time. said,
I heard
What's up?
two different things.
So,
I read.
all right, under
I read that. I guess kind of what Keith said is true.
Hmm.
Part of it, well, they re-upped LFG for season 2, and they wanted. And Taker said that he would come back if he could work with his wife.
Right.
So they
Right.
were going to bring Michelle McCool in. Now Taker did not know that they were going to remove Mickey.
Right.
Now the other thing I heard was that Taker was pissed that his wife gave the idea to Danny to use Hell's Gate.
Okay, so that was just TV commercials.
yeah,
If you actually watch the show, they just did that for drama. Like
Yeah,
it
that's what I
wasn't
thought.
even remotely real.
That's what I
like,
thought.
yeah.
But then
The
again,
way it played out on the show, he was like, "Thank you for coming to me and being respectful. I give you my blessing." And then after
Yeah.
she did it, he was like, "Oh, the girl did good." Like, yeah. So that's
yeah, I thought it was BS, bro.
yeah. That
And
didn't
honestly,
yeah, they do a lot of
honestly,
bait and switch for the commercials of that show.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
honestly, I think as far as Michelle McCool goes, I'm sorry, but I think she got in the Hall of Fame because she's Taker's wife. I think that she's on the show because she's
Oh,
Taker's wife, and
you
I don't
think
think
facts?
she's a legend
Wow.
at all.
I think she got in the Hall of Fame because everybody gets in the Hall of Fame.
I think the Hall of Fame's a work
They
anyway.
put Stacy Keebler in the freaking Hall of Fame, for God's sake.
she got
You know what I
legs.
mean?
Knows how to
Thanks,
use
Lord.
them.
She does.
She got
Yeah.
legs.
But yeah, everybody gets in the Hall of Fame.
He rose.
Stacey
Especially
Keebler
people who-
was a better on-screen talent than Michelle McCool. Through
Really?
Yes, she was.
WCW and WWF, Stacey Keebler. I'm not saying a better wrestler. I am saying a better on-screen talent.
Yeah,
It's possible. It's possible.
I mean, you got to consider at least a couple of years in WCW, and then
yeah.
after that,
I mean,
straight
when
to
she was
WWF.
the Dudley's.
Respect.
She was Miss
respect the
Hancock, and then
person,
she
but,
was
Yes.
David Flair's
Yes.
sister or girlfriend. So
Yes.
if I not to just
Hancock.
objectify, right? But to
Yeah.
aging like a Drake diss. If I'm sorry to say, Trish Stratus is aging like a Kendrick diss, and Michelle McCool is aging like a Drake diss.
Yeah, she does look not as good as she did back in the day.
I don't know
I
what
will
any of that
say-
means, but I know Mickey James still looks like a fucking fine wine.
Yeah, Mickey James,
Sorry, beautiful.
Thank you, though.
good looking lady.
Oh
For
my
sure.
goodness.
No, see,
Always.
I will say that. I
And
will
Mickey,
say that.
if you ever hear this, I mean that 100% respectfully. Please don't hurt me.
Just here, same. What are we gonna
I
say,
will
Jess?
say, I will say that Mickey James did not get, in my opinion, anything or her spot or whatever because all this is the GM of SmackDown.
Mhm.
He doesn't have the same
Well, yeah.
pull
Or
as the
vice
Undertaker
versa.
by
Yeah,
any
they have no. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Like,
all this is an
any-
indie guy who they didn't even
yeah.
bring in
They,
until he was done wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
they,
obviously,
they
yeah.
don't have any stroke.
Yeah,
I mean, he
yeah,
doesn't
Yeah.
have stroke like Taker does.
I was gonna say,
And
Mickey James
honestly-
probably has more stroke than Aldous.
Yeah, and honestly, as much talk as there is about stuff like that on the internet, I always question it because, like,
Yeah,
you're gonna do what you think is best for business.
yeah.
With the
You know?
with the Undertaker though, and with the LFG, it's kind of obvious.
Oh yeah, the LFG thing
You know
is a
what I mean?
completely different deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sucks.
But I will say, and I said this in our group chat, if I was Mickey James,
Oh,
if WWE ever came calling to me again, I would tell them to go. I would Cody Rhodes them.
I would have been done half the
I love
trash
them.
bag.
Well, see, the
Yeah.
thing is, I'm surprised that Mickey James has anything to do with them at all after they put her stuff in the trash bag and left
course.
it at her
I
house.
was just saying, I would have
Right.
stopped answering their calls after the trash bag.
Right.
100%, dude. So, and that just shows how much she loves wrestling and how much she wants to contribute to the future. You know what I mean? Like this was a chance for her to get in there and help the kids, and I believe that's probably why she did it. But at this
Exactly.
point, I mean, they clearly have no respect for her there.
No,
You know?
she's one of Tommy Dreamer's kids. They'll never respect her. They will never respect her. She learned everything.
Will
good
she ever
that
live?
Tommy put on her.
Will she ever live that down? That WrestleMania moment where she licked her fingers? Is that what is?
I
She,
mean,
the rest of her career is just having to make up for that.
Memories.
should she live it down? I mean,
Dude, her whole first angle was she was a crazy Trish Stratus stalker.
right.
Well, weren't we all?
Teenage me remembers that fondly.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
She
When
was
they
a
came
crazy
out
Trish,
dressed as
Trish
each
Stratus
other,
stalker, and then she was fat
dude, when they
because
came
she
out
was
dressed
thick.
as each other, I
Mhm.
Yeah.
almost lost my goddamn.
I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
think D'Lo was right, and I think that Trish should come back, and they should put Tiffany and Trish together. They call them T squared.
I don't think
Squared.
Trish should ever come back permanently. I
Yes,
think it's
second
fine
power.
Really? Mm.
Now
with her
she's
making,
Well, I
makes
think the
sense
idea
to
is
be
finished now.
doing her
I
own.
think the idea is finished.
I think Trish and Lita should have their own show. I mean, Trish and Mickey should have their own show where they just invite Lita on and punch her in the snatch.
What?
I was gonna say,
What?
Trish and Lita do have that tour that's going on, so
Please clip
that's
that, Tyler, because
their whole thing.
that's
We're live, brother. We're live, brother.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
You're live.
We are live.
Oh no. I know that. I meant clip
Yeah.
that for like YouTube and everything later on.
Oh, you're saying to put it out there into
Yeah,
the
yeah,
world.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not cut it.
To the
Clip it.
ether.
Oh,
Right.
man.
Oh, wait,
I
I'll
want that to
get to
happen.
the why all the Travises are taking L's, and when we can talk about some real fun stuff here.
What is Travis Scott doing there? Is he going to leave? Like, dude,
Is it a
It
work
was
or
the
did he really
strangest.
punch Cody
so-
Rhodes'
it's
eardrum?
so
to make
funny
sure
going
make
back
it
and
happen.
watching it to see the stuff that I focused on.
So
I
much
was
white confusion in you at that
I have to
moment.
I
Oh
have
my
to
God.
preface what we're talking about before everybody just starts speaking.
yeah, go for it, man. I'm sorry. I'm
All right,
sorry.
so, and I will preface this as well, right? Me and Travis have a person in common over in LA, and I will tell you for a fact that stuff is way too strong. Because this guy, Travis Scott, being a part of probably the biggest heel turn of the 21st century, it was probably the biggest blunder I have ever seen from a celebrity. That's even counting David Arquette winning the title.
Yeah.
Mm.
Andy Kaufman breaking his neck because of Jerry Lawler. Like Travis Scott was out there doing demonic stuff, burning
Mhm.
sage.
What was going
That's
on?
not demonic.
He had to be like calmed down by John Cena.
Like,
like he was lifting his
Yeah.
nigga.
lifting Cena, Cody's face. He's like, "Look at me, I made Utopia." No, Cena was like, "Stop it! I have a platinum album too." And then
Burning sage,
Yes, sir.
for the record, isn't demonic. It's how you ward off evil spirits. Just putting
Well,
that
no,
out.
but I mean, he was doing like,
Oh, don't get me wrong. No. Travis Scott's
Yeah.
a friggin' lunatic, but burning sage is to ward off evil spirits. That's
Right,
all.
right.
That's not demonic. I get what you're
Right.
saying, though. He was
Doesn't
he
say
was
it in
pretty
the
much
Bible.
casting spells on the corner for 20 minutes.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Whatever
guy
he
named-
did when they laid Cody out was wild. I was like, I don't know what this is.
It was very Illuminati-esque. And
yeah.
what I would say
The whole
is that
thing
I
was
feel like
selling
because The
souls.
Rock,
Yeah,
exactly
souls,
right. Because
baby.
The Rock did what he did, right? I feel like their new nickname is the Hollywood Elite, right?
Sure,
Because
makes sense. Yeah,
they're both grade A actors, right? Like Cena at this point is a B-list or A-list actor. He's box
Yeah.
office, you know.
Yeah.
He's on the front of movies. He's doing McDonald's commercials. The
he
guy
does a
is doing
million commercials with
he's
shut
doing
his
voiceovers for
Yeah.
yeah.
Hyundai.
You hear his voice so
Right.
much, dude. It's just like, hey, that's
Yeah,
John Cena.
yeah.
Hey, that's John Cena.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
That's John
two
Cena. Now I want
two
to stab you.
Bostonian Johnnies that you cannot get away from their voices.
Ah,
Just like that.
but
So I wanna ask, what do we take from the biggest heel turn in however long?
man,
You know, varying to the big part where John Cena, if y'all didn't see and y'all are under a rock, John Cena finally, which I called a little bit ago, and people said, cough Keith
hey,
said that I was nuts for saying it.
I
But
almost
I can't go
detailed
left
the
because I'm
entire
always right.
plan. Like, holy
yeah,
hell.
Johnny said that Cena was going to win the Elimination Chamber and turn heel. Like, I was like, that's why I was like, holy crap.
So Johnny, do you
So-
feel like this was the best idea for business?
Compared to the alternative, having Cody Rhodes career
Mhm.
doesn't feel right to me. I feel like he's got enough babyface, shine to carry him on for another year or two easy.
Well, you
But
said
having
Cody going heel didn't feel right to you, or Cena
Cody
didn't?
turning heel wouldn't
Okay.
have felt right to me,
All right.
whereas Cena turning heel feels like just the last bit of the puzzle. It feels like a lot of other wrestlers. They're going to give him a lot of creative control. They're going to give him a lot of freedom. And I think his retirement year was a work the entire time. I'm standing by that, and I think he's going to extend it well beyond that year.
I agree. It could be that he gets energized and he's like, you know what? Because I said it when he said it was to be his last WrestleMania and all of that. It doesn't mean that he's not going to be until SummerSlam.
Right.
He could show up in MetLife and in SummerSlam or wherever it's going to be in Jersey and just rock the world.
His retirement tour is supposed to be the entire year, dude.
Yeah, 12 months. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think it's a work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Chad, do you think they made the right decision?
I was honestly shocked, but yeah, I do, because I did see somewhere that they were talking about that they first went to Cody about turning heel and he wouldn't do it. And
Interesting.
and I knew once Cena had won the elimination chamber that they had to have a heel, and Cody wasn't going to do it. So they had to have someone heel, because everybody knows good guy versus good guy or bad guy versus bad guy match usually doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I knew one of them had to turn heel,
Mm-hmm.
and yes, it did shock me.
Well, that's probably the good part, because you don't want it to be so cut and dry. People are like, oh.
And I
For
will
what it's
say
worth,
this:
I predicted it, and it shocked me.
Right.
And for what it's worth, I don't know if this is true for anybody else, but for me anyway, WWE seems to be less predictable with Triple H than it was with the old man.
Very much so. Yes.
Yeah,
Very true.
it still definitely follows a formula, but it's not as literally F the audience.
Exactly.
Even with these title changes that seem to happen weekly, like they're unpredictable.
Yeah, they are.
I didn't see Shawn Spears winning the belt. That's for sure.
I didn't see Io. I mean, even though Io deserves it, I didn't see Rhea losing the title till at least WrestleMania.
I didn't see her dropping it that quick either, for sure. Sure.
Nice. Part of me thought they would lead to a three-way between Bianca and Rhea and Io, which
it still could.
Different context.
It still could.
I miss the way triple threats used to be, where they were always elimination style. I can't stand the one first pinfall takes it. I can't stand that.
And the no DQ thing, that's a little weird.
Yeah, that's kinda. Yeah, but yeah.
So let me get the D-Lo. I want to hear how you feel, and then I want to also I want to throw a situation out there.
I still got to talk, brother.
That's him.
I'm going in order. And,
okay.
And
well, I know. Okay.
I just want to make sure
you didn't forget me, man.
Shut up.
D-Lo's been buried like my words in the chat.
I just want to make sure that you didn't forget me. That's all.
It shocked me. Young me was shocked. I never thought it would happen, and it happened. I was so shocked. And it was the right call, because he bought in. It ties back to what happened way back in when he came back 2012. It ties way back. Like, you're gonna be up, you might be leaving this business soon, but you might sign it. Where am I going? Where I'm going?
I want also can I pose something to you, D-Lo, and then you talk about it?
What's up?
So obviously, like Cena, and apparently Cena broke a Guinness World Record for the longest time between heel turns.
That's right.
Years, which I didn't even know would be a thing, but
right.
Me either.
Yeah.
When you saw CM Punk in the last two, and they were trading finisher for finisher, and Seth Rollins did the exact same thing Drew McIntyre did to Damian Priest, but to CM Punk. Did you hear that John Cena said, "I'm sorry"?
I never heard that part.
And he stitched in the STFU which, by the way, the STFU used to be a very silly looking because it never looked like it hurt. This time he made it look like it hurt.
Yeah, he put a bit extra. He put extra on it. I think it was more like because of the old friend. Like, I'm sorry I did this, my old friend, but I got this.
Kind of reminds me of the HBK and Flair thing in 2007.
Yeah.
Well, the
It felt
send
like
off.
the old days.
Well, that was more like a
Public.
send off, like off to pasture.
Yeah.
And then 5 years later, you have another.
I'm sorry, old Yeller.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, you gotta be put down, big fella. I gotta get mine.
Old Yeller came back in every single other movie.
Oh my God, did he ever?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he
Keith,
did.
I'm gonna bring up because I got Diesel's word from it. Keith, how did you feel about the execution? And also another weird thing that I wanted to mention is that why do you feel like John Cena of all people was the one that take the deal, considering that he is already a star?
Yeah. So I think that, I mean, you could watch the replay and see our reactions if you want to go watch the watch along. Like D'Lo and I were both pretty freaking hyped up when it was happening.
Oh yeah,
man.
you two were in, man.
Like we, as you could see it, we could see it coming. You know, you could feel it. But then even knowing, like, you could hear us kind of predicting that it was going to happen. But even knowing that it was going to happen, you still didn't think it was going to happen. You know, like it was just so, man.
Moment for sure.
So they got us. You know, they had us involved. Like 110% we were involved. And I think that's what's important. I think that if Cody Rhodes had joined up with The Rock, it would have been kind of silly. You know, it wouldn't have had the impact that this has had.
You can have my soul, Papa.
Yeah. It would have just, you know, especially after all the touching of the face, he wanted a hug and all. I mean, it just would have been, it would have been gross. But this was like, holy crap. So I think, you know, and I also think that they have been planting the seeds for John Cena not to leave, because if you go back to the very first press conference where they announced it, Triple H said, you know, John came to me and said that this is what he wants to do and it's going to be his last year and yada, yada. And he has earned the right to be able to do what he wants. And then when John Cena came on, they asked him about it. He said, well, I'm not leaving by choice. So they literally contradicted each other in that press conference. And even then, I was like, maybe they're trying to set something up. You know, like looking at it now, it seems even more likely.
Yeah, because he's aligning with The Rock and not Triple H.
Yeah, and as far as the why he joined The Rock, I think that the fact that he is already a star is exactly why. Like, I don't think he had to sell his soul to The Rock. He already sold his soul to Hollywood.
He already
You know what I
in.
mean? He already sold his soul to James Gunn. He already sold his soul to Amazon.
So honestly,
Pistachio.
And he understood The Rock. He kind of understood what The Rock was talking about.
And
exactly.
Yep.
If I can mention this as well, it's pretty funny considering that they're both in the Fast Five or the Fast and the Furious
franchise.
Yeah. He got killed though.
It kind of makes sense, you know, that The Rock has his brother finally, because he's always been talking about one thing I never had was a brother. And who would you consider to be a brother of The Rock? Would be
Dominic Toretto.
Does the same thing. Right. Dominic Toretto. Sorry.
Family.
I want Vin Diesel to come out with them.
Just say family.
Family. Just stiff shot Cody in the face again.
Yeah, I do want to say I didn't understand a single thing about Travis Scott being there. Like none of it made any sense to me.
Part of me thinks that he wasn't supposed to be there and he was just lost.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you listen, go back. Everybody go back and watch that watch along. I'm like, why is he there? Is he supposed to be there? I said The Rock probably doesn't even know he's behind him. You know what I mean? Like there was all of it, like, because it all just seems so out of place.
Yeah.
The dude doesn't even know how to carry a belt. He was carrying the belt like a knapsack.
Yeah,
that's not how you carry a title belt. You know, like the whole thing was odd.
He probably seen Roman Reigns and the way The Rock carries his, and he was like, "Yeah, but
he did."
He
right, but
like
you still display the face. You know what I mean? There was times when he would throw it over his back,
When
and
he was
just
when he was lighting the sage, I for real thought he was lighting the blunt in the ring.
I thought
so did I.
too.
I thought he was
I
about to get.
preferred
I
that.
thought he was about to smoke. Yeah.
That would have been awesome, not for nothing.
And
So
as far as what
Tony
Dio
back.
said, as far as it tying back to 2012, I think it goes back even further than that. I think it goes back to when Cena was talking shit about The Rock about leaving the business, and then and bitching about that, and then Cena doing the same thing.
Right.
Like he complained about The Rock.
Are you saying all of wrestling is a work?
Hey now.
No, I would never say that.
Did you guys see just as a little aside that John Cena? Someone asked John Cena's dad about John Cena turning heel, and he like went off on him.
Yeah, I did see that.
I didn't see that. What the heck?
Funny, dude.
I've seen his dad
I did
went
see
heel
that.
too,
I thought it was funny.
The whole
as hell.
family's involved, man. The whole family's involved.
Can't fucking believe it. I bet they were shocked.
By the way, speaking of acting, of course, I want to ask everybody real quick, who did a better acting job, John Cena or Bianca Belair?
Roddy Piper.
Bianca. I say Bianca.
Yeah, I'll say Bianca.
Bianca.
John Cena looked, like I said, John Cena's a robot.
Yeah.
John Cena's stuff looked very put on.
Like he went from straight
Era
up like
Emmy.
normal, happy John Cena that we've seen for the last however many years to comic book bad guy.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It was goofy. I mean, we'll see how he does it.
And I liked it, but it was
right, and that's part of his persona too. You know what I mean? John Cena is kind of goofy.
And not for nothing, it's really hard to take him serious with that bald spot.
Oh,
yeah, let that thing go, bro.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Did you guys see the NWO meme?
Like, oh yeah.
The NWO meme where the bald spot was the O.
I've seen the hustle, loyalty, respect where the O in loyalty is the one too.
Hilarious, dude. So funny.
Man.
I'd say nobody here should be talking about bald spots because we're all.
I got a receding hairline, but I have no bald spot.
I'm good shit right now, brother.
We're all older people, and Lord knows I don't want to get ripped. I don't want to get ripped a new one in 15 years when I don't even know how old.
I don't look, brother.
I got the receding hairline, but I do.
How old is John Cena? 51 ish, right?
What?
He like 40.
If he's 50,
maybe he's in his late 40s.
Like 48, something like that. He like mid.
Yeah, I would assume that him and Randy are the same age. No?
47.
Yeah, like 40.
It'll be 48 next month.
Yeah, that's
like Rock is the same age as me.
Right, Rock is 51. Yeah.
52.
52, yeah.
And it's also interesting, I would say, that Travis Scott was not the only Travis that said something or did something stupid. This isn't really wrestling related, but I can make it wrestling related. Travis Hunter, if you guys know who he is, the Travis Hunter.
Oh, all right.
He was the first college football player to win the Biletnikoff and the Offensive Player of the Year award. So he won both Defensive Player of the Year and Offensive Player of the Year award, and he won the. But he said that his unique circumstance of playing both sides of the field is more impressive than Shohei Ohtani's playing both sides of the field. And I would say that is probably the dumbest take he's had in his short life.
Yeah.
I would venture to say that wrestling is more difficult than doing what Travis Hunter does.
Wow.
If I'm being honest, he's a cornerback and a wide receiver. They're the same thing, just on different sides. Ohtani throws 100 mile an hour, and he let me land. He throws. He can paint the corner, and then he also was the first ever 50-50. He's one of the fastest players in the league. He led the league in home runs while also being the starting pitcher of the All-Star game.
There is nobody in history has ever done that shit.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. Not only like Shohei Ohtani had to change the way video games are. Literally, they had to give you the option to do both because he did.
I mean that's like saying that now LeBron James, every time that he scores a basket, is setting a brand new NBA record.
Well, technically he does because he has the most points and all of that. But
he's the only player in history to ever hit 50,000 points. So every time he makes another basket over 50,000, he sets a new NBA record.
Well, I don't know how that tracks, to be honest, because Travis is talking about the fact that he plays offense and defense.
Yeah, they don't really relate, but I mean,
that's the
more
most
stats.
impressive thing. But no, being a starting pitcher and being able to hit a ball that's 100 mile an hour, that's one of the most difficult things in the world.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's crazy.
And you got to think about the fact that if you're pitching,
I mean, Shohei is definitely a better player than Travis. And what he does is definitely more difficult than what Travis does. Because like Pablo said, a cornerback and a wide receiver is basically the same. It's the same damn thing. It's just different sides of the ball.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
And if you're pitching, I mean, I suppose it would matter somewhat where you're at in the lineup, but you're wearing your arm out pitching, and then you're going to go hit
that's
too.
Why he had to take a year off, and then he took a year off, and then became the first 50-50 player.
Yeah, that's wild. And I heard a rumor that he might be out some of this year too, because he's not completely healed from Tommy John.
Well, it could be possible because, the wear and tear. Granted, he does play DH now in less right field, but at the same time, he's probably going to play more outfield since Mookie's now a shortstop, and they think they might be letting go of Hernandez.
Oh, Hernandez might be going?
Oscar Hernandez, I think so.
No, he's talking about Kiki Hernandez. You know everything about him.
Oh, Kike Hernandez. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, I think they brought him back for the fourth time, actually. They brought him back. Yeah. But less on baseball and more on football now.
Okay.
So Shannon Sharp said that he would want to team up with Cody to fight Travis Scott and The Rock. And I'm telling you, Shannon, Shannon, that man is in really good shape. I would not mind seeing him in the ring.
Me either.
And Travis Scott is like the size of my leg. So
honestly, I think Shannon would have done better. Shannon will do better than Dennis and Carl Malone.
Hey now,
Carl Malone did all right for his one match.
I agree.
He did okay. Like,
dude, honestly, the greatest.
He did respectably, at least as far as in ring. But
I agree with you.
You want to talk about no build up, like suddenly here's Carl Malone, and look at that, he knows how to wrestle like magic. Like,
the greatest celebrity wrestler in the history of celebrity wrestling is Jay Leno. Did you feel those arm bars?
Oh, so bad. Oh, dude.
Those arm bars, dude.
The punches on Hogan were so ugly.
Oh, was it worse than the Jon Stewart chair shot to Cena?
Way worse. Way worse.
Because the thing is, because if you ever go back and watch the match, Jay Leno dominated Hulk Hogan in that match with an arm bar.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, Hulk Hogan should have punched Jay Leno in the face, and Jay Leno should have been unconscious. That should have been the match.
Oh yeah.
Jay Leno's
should have put him in a front chin lock and Richard Belzered him.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Flat down goes another talk show host.
We don't need that many, right?
No, apparently we don't.
Yeah, whatever. There's plenty.
The more wrestlers that give more reporters the John Stossel treatment, the happier I'll be.
That's a reference right there.
Well,
baby salts, baby.
Not for nothing, man, but I've rarely seen a more deserving couple of slaps. He was just so disrespectful and dismissive of how these people feed their families.
Fair.
You know what I mean? So, good for him. Even if WWE disavowed any knowledge of him after that. Good for him for doing.
He went to the AWA and freaking kicked some butt. So,
all right. I have a few more things just to mention in passing that would be interesting, and then I want to get into two specific things that I think are really cool. So one thing is that Ric Flair said in a tweet that he does not want Cena to break his record and that he'll literally come out of retirement and fight him himself. And I'm like, yeah, sure thing, Rick.
Look at that old man.
Yeah. That's all I have to say about that because
he gets winded opening his email. I don't think Cena's gonna lose sleep.
No, will win it, and what the hell is Ric Flair gonna do with a pacemaker? Is he gonna die in the freaking ring
again?
Yeah,
what he wants to do, to be honest.
That is pretty much seemingly how he wants to go out. Yeah,
that's why he keeps saying he wants to wrestle another match after his supposed last retirement match.
He wants to go out like a 12 wrestler. Yeah.
Speaking of people that want to wrestle another match, Karrion Kross was announced to be wrestling for the Benefit for Bay, what we mentioned last week, which is news because it would be the first time in 2 months that he's actually seen a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
Because the last time he
odd.
fought was against the
Wyatt Six.
The Wyatt Six
Right.
leader, Uncle Howdy, who is nowhere to be found.
Yep.
Yeah.
Disappeared.
I
He's
think
one of
that
those
they've
other
been
guys that puts himself over online, but he's
right.
not doing much with them.
I think they've been building him backstage. I just hope they're not trying to segue him into some kind of a management position or something like that, because it wouldn't make sense. Like, he's too good in the ring to just be a manager. You know, if they decide to Johnny Polo him, that would be bad business.
Yeah.
Everybody, Google all these references if you don't know them, because you're throwing out references left, right, front, and center.
Hey, this is a wrestling podcast, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Know your history.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, we had mentioned it before offline, but we'll mention it online. Hammerstone is done with TNA, it looks like, because he is not under contract.
Mhm.
Yeah, he actually said, I wrestled my last TNA match February 24th. So he actually said, yeah, he said he was done. So
we'll see what happens to him, but the man is gold. So
it is. Yeah. The thing that kind of worries me is he's had 2 or 3 WWE tryouts and they never picked him up. You know, and he went down to NXT and did that one match, and then they didn't have him come back. So I'm wondering what the deal is, but it doesn't seem like WWE is interested in him.
No, he'll probably go back to MLW.
He could go back to MLW, but at the end of the day, the contract that they offered him when his last contract expired wasn't good enough to keep him there.
No.
You know, so he went to TNA, and I can't imagine TNA was offering him millions of dollars.
No. TNA offered him less than what Court offered him, from what I understood.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would think AEW is his best bet right now, but we'll see what happens.
You want to hear something funny? I actually know a person that I've known for probably, I don't know, probably half as long as I've known you, Keith, that tells me all the time that he knows Court Bauer personally from the tape trading days.
Yeah.
And he's told me that he works for Court and he's actually booked shows for MLW. And I can't.
Yeah, and that dude is also giving you like bad information. So
yeah, I know.
I don't know how much I would believe that guy.
I don't at all. That's like me saying I booked WWE because I do it better than the old man did.
Right. Yeah.
I
that
mean,
guy.
That might be true, but I still don't do it.
Right.
Vince is an old man, that's for sure.
He is indeed.
Like cane and everything.
Yeah, but you know what, man? Snapping turtles can live to be hundreds of years old. Doesn't make them any less lethal.
Exactly.
Indeed.
Oh snap! I seen this, but I seen this on Sports Illustrated. This is something which is known their limited coverage of wrestling. They came out with their top 10 women's wrestlers ever.
Oh, jeez, I didn't see it.
Oh God, I didn't see that either.
I bet it's bad.
Yes, it's bad, and I will mention it to you, and I'm going to just rattle off the names, and then you guys could ad lib and say oohs and ahs, and
will you say
how you feel? I imagine that D-Lo is going to be mad at number 4.
When you say the names, are you going to say what place they are as well, or just say the names randomly?
I'm going to go from 10 to 1.
Okay.
So starting at number 10, the Trailblazer, Alundra Blaze.
Interesting.
Fair.
Seems very interesting.
Seems really low on the list.
A little bit, considering that number 9 is the hair herself, Bianca Belair.
Okay.
What?
All right.
Which I can see her being up there. I can see her being up there higher than number 8 being Asuka.
Surprising. Okay.
Asuka was number 8, you said?
Asuka's number 8.
Okay.
Interesting, but I don't see anything wrong with it considering that she's done everything you can do.
Right.
In wrestling. And WWE for that matter.
Yeah.
Then another WWE legend, and
Why do I
wrestling
hear the
Joey,
sarcasm?
but China is number 7.
She was a very good
only
wrestler.
Women's
Let's just be
Intercontinental.
honest.
No,
The
she
Should have
wasn't.
been She should have been top 3.
Wow.
In ability,
I
or
wouldn't
are you
have gone
talking
there.
about like
And
actual
for
Impact,
the time
maybe?
period that she came in, yeah, she should be top 3 in my opinion.
Well, if she was used better, I imagine she could have been number 1 because she had everything to be.
100%. Thank you.
I know number 1, I'll bet.
I know number 1 too, I'll bet.
We're going to be upset about it, but I'll
Yep.
Okay. Then maybe I don't know number 1.
Number 6 is the Cheeks herself, Bailey.
Hey now.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
love
getting
her over here.
angrier.
Lots of
and
modern
angrier
wrestlers.
with this list.
But I mean, that makes sense, you know.
That's the thing about it that I find to be weird because there's no, aside from, I think, no, and not even actually. I was looking for it. They didn't even mention Bull.
That's very interesting.
It's beyond interesting. It's disrespectful. Like, who wrote this?
Yeah, that's
Well, okay. I will preface that is technically its greatest WWE wrestlers of all time.
Okay.
So I guess it is making, it'll make a bit more sense.
Right.
Considering that they're just going off of just straight up accolades in WWE, which I still think is weird considering that China still could have been further up.
Oh, sure. She won
That's
the
why I
men's
don't
title.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and considering that number 5, which what are we doing? What are we doing, guys? Is formerly known as Sasha Banks.
Mercedes Moné.
Mercedes Moné is only number 5.
Interesting.
Mercedes Moné is even on the list.
Well, being that she's won a lot in WWE, she was the
I mean, she was the
But also I remember that Vince never really believed in her, which is why she lost the title basically as soon as she won them.
Yeah.
Which you can tell because she was a little bit smaller and she didn't have the thing.
I mean, Vince, from what I read and from what I saw, Vince never ever liked Sasha Banks. But then again, Vince never believed in NXT either.
Vince
but he also didn't believe in everybody.
People from Boston too, so
he didn't believe in anybody that didn't do his bidding.
Right.
100%.
Number 4 is Lita.
I knew she was going to be in the top 5.
Yeah, I figured she'd be in the top 3 or top 5.
Is this top hoes of all time or wrestlers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, now.
Kayfabe hoes, everybody.
Yeah. Yep.
Remember, Lita was called a hoe for the last 3 years of her actual career by Chris Jericho, Matt Hardy.
Yeah, she's a hoe.
I mean, if it was top 3, if it was top 10 hoes, Stephanie would be number 1 because
for real.
Because my man Chris Jericho,
filthy animal. And I'll get back to you, Rhino. Yeah. Good stuff. Number 3, known as pretty much widely regarded as the original GOAT. Number 3, coming off of her win with Tiffany Stratton, Trish Stratus. Number
3. TS squared.
I was thinking she might be number 1, but now I definitely know who number 1 is.
I thought she might be. I thought she'd definitely be top 3, but I think I know who number 1 is too. And then
I will ask you guys, what are your guesses for number 1?
Wheezy.
Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair.
Yep.
I'm going the other way. Her friend Becky Lynch.
Ooh.
Keith stays true to his gimmick because Keith is wrong again. Number 2.
I'll go there.
Number 2.
Every time. You go the opposite of Keith every time.
Every time. D-Lo brought it home. Every single time. So number 2 is the literal GOAT where she has the most title reigns in history. Charlotte Flair.
Woo. Number 1, Becky Lynch.
She has more cosmetic surgeries than she does. She has more husbands than she has reigns.
All right.
I swear to God, that
Damn.
woman has more plastic every time I see her.
Not for
Dude, but
That's the
I am
only
nothing.
so
reason why she
glad.
comes off. She
I am
leaves.
so glad that she got that giant mole removed from her chin.
I
That
know,
thing was
right?
disgusting.
Yeah.
Not
That
for
was
nothing,
nasty.
Still
man.
looks.
But
It was distractingly gross.
Sunny was
She
the
still looks
most
cringely bad.
downloaded woman in the history of the internet for how many years?
Right. Yeah, I
Mickey
remember that.
James didn't make the list. Gail Kim didn't make the list. Paul
Yeah, that's what I was
Nakano
gonna
didn't
mention.
make the list. I'm calling shenanigans, and I'm calling them loud.
Well, I feel like it's recency bias,
Yeah.
and also it's just accolades because they've been, NXT is a thing now, and it wasn't a thing back then. So maybe
Right.
if Trish Stratus or Lita won the NXT titles once upon a time, then maybe they would have been a little higher.
So
But I don't know.
bizarre.
It's the woman that at some point the BBS is coming. It's all that's left, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure from at least from what I heard was that I don't know if anybody remembers, but the one time when Nikki Cross was the women's champion and she dropped the belt really quick to Charlotte Flair, that was because Vince, I believe it was Vince, thought that counting Charlotte's win against the NXT or with the NXT title wasn't really appropriate, so he had Charlotte win the women's title one more time or win it from Nikki Cross that time.
I can
I
see
mean,
that.
that's fairish. Like when
I don't see Flair kicking over wheelchairs and walkers trying to stop his daughter from winning another title.
right when Moose called Obafemi the NXT World Champion on Thursday, I was kind of like, the what? Like,
Yeah.
that's not really a world title,
All right, gentlemen, I gotta fly for now. Happy hunting.
All right.
If I can, I'll make it back.
All right.
Oh, man.
Isn't it?
No, man.
Isn't it wild that the man is the number one women's champion of all?
Indeed.
Also
that
in
much,
Sports
yeah.
Illustrated's top 20 WWE wrestlers of all time.
Right.
So they have a bias for sure. They have a bias towards Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
They love red.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it, considering like I've never really been huge on Becky, and I to be honest, I think there's a handful of women better than her right now.
I mean, honestly,
Right.
I'm glad it's Becky more than Charlotte, but
I'll say that.
I love
I can
Becky
see
in
what you're
NXT.
saying.
Mhm.
Yeah, Becky was the bomb in NXT.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what gave her the edge. That and also winning the tag championships with Lita and 7-time world champion at this point, I believe.
Yeah.
Now there are a couple things that I'm wondering. Now Pablo, you said it was the the top women in WWE, right?
Yes,
the top
WWE.
10 in WWE.
Mhm.
Now, I was thinking that this was possibly the same angle they were going with when they said that the WWE Tag Team Women's Championships, they were the first ever WWE. Now, they said that because back in in the 80s it was the Jumping Bomb Angels, but that was WWF. So
Okay.
I was thinking that you were talking strictly about women that were WWE, but then you mentioned number 10 Alundra Blaze, and she was in WWF. So then I'm like, maybe that's not it. But so if what you're saying, if it's WWF/E, then both should definitely be on that list because she was in WWF.
Yeah, but she was in WWF for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like a cup of tea, a cup of
Yeah.
coffee.
Yeah, but she was better for the cup of tea than most of them women were with the whole damn meal, dude.
Right, but I mean, if this is a kayfabe list and they're looking at like accolades and stuff like that, then it makes sense that she wouldn't be on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give a little pushback considering that the person with the most reigns, I would just imagine to be.
I definitely thought Charlotte Flair was gonna. Yeah,
I definitely thought Charlotte would be number one as well.
Yeah,
I had a feeling Becky.
Now, speaking
especially
of
that
Charlotte
Flair.
and most reigns, I have a question.
What up?
This is probably off the subjects, but it's kind of a serious question, and I want to see what people's reactions are. Now, when and or if Charlotte breaks her old man's record, do you
Yeah.
will it mean more or less or the same as Ric Flair having that many title reigns, and
Funny
why?
thing is, I'll answer that question. The funny thing is that Ric Flair's reigns were like one-offs, considering he lost to Carlos Colon twice and then got it back the next day, and then like lost it to somebody in Japan and then got it back, and then it was
Yeah,
like WCW
Gary
also.
Von Erich, I think, had it for 6 days.
Exactly.
yeah,
So I think it'll mean more to the WWE, considering that they were legitimate reigns, no matter if they were shorter or longer. Like, they were legitimate reigns, whereas Ric Flair would lose them behind the scenes and like get them back before he got home.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like I think just because Ric Flair is Ric Flair, they won't consider it as big of a milestone. But I think that, Charlotte Flair being that, yeah, I think it, to answer your question, I think it would mean more.
I think it's
Yeah.
wild that, like, back in the day, those little short title reigns, they didn't even count them. For the
no, they
longest
didn't.
time, Ric Flair was an 8-time world champion, and that was super
Yeah,
impressive. And then they just decided that they would start pulling out. Well, like, he lost the belt to Inoki in Japan and won it back before the tour ended. They counted that, and they just started counting. And I think some of it was to give people who had won the title recognition, because before that, they didn't get the recognition of ever being a champion.
Yeah.
Like, no one knew Antonio Inoki was an NWA world champion until the 90s.
that I
Even though he
mean,
won it, even though he won it back in the 80s. But it definitely padded Ric Flair's championship reigns. All of Charlotte Flair's reigns have been on TV.
Exactly.
They've all been, they've all been documented for everyone to see. So yeah, I definitely get
I mean,
Pablo's point on that.
speaking of undocumented title reigns, it's just like and I'm sure you remember this, Keith. Anybody else? I'm not sure about because we used to watch wrestling a lot. Um, do you remember, Keith, when the Rockers won the tag team titles on Saturday Night's Main Event? And the
Oh
ropes
yeah,
broke.
everybody knows about that. But the rope break, so they
Yeah,
decided
yeah,
not to
yeah.
air it, and yeah.
I
Everybody
mean,
knows
they,
about
they
that. I
didn't
think it's a pretty
document
big
that,
story,
and
right?
and I can't tell you how many people had said to me over the years that the Rockers should have kept the titles.
Well, I mean, here's the thing too. They did sort of document it, but what they did was they said that because the rope was broken, that they were waiving the title match, so it didn't count. You
Yeah.
know,
Interesting.
I mean, but yeah,
No more.
I mean, I know somebody as old as me, at least, saying that they remember Saturday Night's Main Event and they burned it all, but they didn't know any. They had no idea that the main event, the
well, yeah,
five
because it
main
never
events.
aired, dude. You had to read about it in the magazines.
Yeah,
It was in the magazines, but it never
yeah.
aired on TV.
That's outrage.
This guy said he knew all about the Saturday Night's Main Event shows, but he had no idea that the five main events existed until I told him.
Oh yeah, those main events that were like on Fridays or whatever they were.
Yeah, the famous Hogan Andre stick
Yeah,
in '88.
yeah.
All right. So
Because
what I'm
of
going to do to
age.
end this, right, is that there are two major pay-per-views coming up. I want to go over them. I also want to mention a third one that's going to be happening Friday and Saturday of next week.
We should talk about Natty too, real quick.
Her being able to go and wrestle for, what was it, GCW or?
She's actually got a match on the next MLP show too, I think.
That's what I was talking about.
Okay, Natty.
Yeah, she's got a match coming up at the next Maple Leaf Pro, and I guess she might take a couple other indie dates too. So cool.
Yeah, I heard about that as well, and I think.
Oh wait, Natty can take indie dates now.
I mean, we don't know how many, you know what I mean, and it's probably only going to be for big shows,
I
but
mean, I know
is, so yeah.
I know Bailey can because I talked.
yeah, Maple Leaf Pro is man, it's huge. I'd really like
I'm That's what I have pulled up right now, and I just wanted to mention.
Okay. My bad. Yeah. Cool.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. It's on par. But Maple Leaf Pro, which you know because Forge in Excellence happened maybe a few months ago, and it was a pretty big card as well. You know, Scott Damore has a lot of people show up for him. You know, he's a visionary and he's very good at what he does, and people like to work for him. And there's a night 1 and night 2. It's on March 14th and 15th. So it'll be next Friday and Saturday. The main event for the first night is the NWA title match. So it's the person I lovingly refer to as Thom. Tom Latimer versus Bishop Dyer, FKA Baron Corbin, aka Tom Pestock, who changed his name for the 3rd time in the last year.
Oh,
sir.
Interesting.
So Tom Latimer versus Bishop Dyer is the main event for night 1. And then I believe night 2, I don't know if it's the main event, but it's going to be Rohan Raja against Rich Swann for their Champions Grill match.
Okay.
A real grill,
a few
or
more
like
things announced as well.
Like
all right, figure. I was about to say they not giving them that kind of stuff.
I like Rich Swann, man. I thought he was good as TNA champ.
I think Rich Swann's good.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sorry, but personally, I would not have a woman beater as my champion.
Well, there's a heck of a lot of champions you'd have to omit then.
Yeah.
Like anybody who fought Tessa Blanchard. Lord knows. Lord knows. Also, it's alleged. I don't actually believe he was.
Yeah, I was going to say, was Rich Swann convicted?
Yeah,
I believe so. Yes.
Also, it's 2025. Self-defense is self-defense, no matter who it is.
Fair.
I mean, honestly, I've had this argument with my wife many times. I tell her, you know, I've always had this thought in my mind, and some people say I'm crazy. If you're going to hit like a woman, if you're going to hit like a man, you better be damn sure you're going to get hit like a man.
So here's the deal. Rich Swann told his wife at the time, Sue Young. Oh, they're still married.
They are still married.
Okay, so obviously, he told Sue Young, that she had a bad match, and Sue Young got mad, and Rich Swann grabbed her in a headlock and took her to his car, and he was charged with imprisonment and battery.
Similar to Jonathan Majors' deal, which also
so they were arguing, and she tried to walk away from him, and he was like, "You're not walking away from me, bitch. Sorry," and got her in a headlock and took her to their car, and probably took her home. And I mean, that sucks, you know, but that's not a woman beater.
No, it's
you
not.
know, and she's still with him.
Yeah, I know.
Years later, like 9 years later. You know what I mean? So like,
it's been that long, bro.
Let me look and see exactly what it was. They got married 9 years ago. So let me
Well, let me look at was it like 2019, something like that? It was before the pandemic.
2017, dude.
Yeah, it was 2000. Yeah.
Yeah. So 8 years later, they're still together. Obviously, putting a woman in a headlock is not a great thing to do.
No.
But at the same time, your wife's running away. You just want to get her ass home. Sorry if I'm getting canceled, but I'm just saying there's a lot worse. There's people who punch women in the face because their pork chops are cold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, walk around New York just punching women just because of what they look like.
Yeah. So to be that harsh on Rich Swann for what was essentially an argument that he had with his wife, where he grabbed her up and took her home. That sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Like, Chad, no offense, but you sound kind of crazy.
No, you're right. I agree. I take back what I said. My bad.
Okay. We show growth.
On. Yeah.
speaking of growing, there's a growing card. I'm going to talk about AEW Revolution first, and then the better pay-per-view I'm going to go to after.
Hey, now.
Because also, it's in order.
The better pay-per-view.
Sunday, March 9th, is going to be AEW Revolution. AEW being the brand that I have not watched a full show in a while as well.
Yeah. I fall asleep every time I try. Maybe I'm trying to watch it too late at night. I don't know, but yeah.
I watched 3 shows last night, and I didn't think there was a problem with any of them.
I do the day.
They just don't hold my attention, man.
It's not that it's a bad product.
And honestly, that's why I'd be watching these women's matches is AEW. Like I saw the Megan Bain match last night, and I thought it was a good match. Her and Statlander.
Oh yeah.
That was a good match. Yeah.
She's F5'd her or whatever and beat her. Which it's just it's one is the booking, two is the quality is a little it's a tier down from what I would like, considering that you can watch wrestling 5 days a week without even mentioning the pay-per-views.
Right.
You know, and like if I'm being honest, I don't have 2 hours every single day to watch every single thing. Like,
I mean, you can watch wrestling Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Thursday,
Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah.
So that's 6 days.
Yep.
And,
6 days out of the week, man.
And honestly, if you're me, then you only watch 5 because TNA is garbage.
It's not though.
Remember, that's his gimmick. He is wrong.
But it is. He's super wrong. It's not garbage.
I'm not. TNA is straight trash.
Oh my god. It's really not.
Let's mention this 10 match grouping. 10 matches, I think, and then one
match 20 minutes long.
Exactly.
Maybe for an hour.
You'll be done in 6 hours. It's not like you got anything else to do.
No, that's WWE. They're like 7 hours plus a post game and a pre-game.
Oh, AEW's pay-per-views are so long, brother.
Really?
There's
like 3-4 hours.
I don't watch AEW pay-per-views just because I can't get them, but I thought they were like the normal 3 hour with a pregame or with a 0 hour.
Dude, they've done 5 hour pay-per-views. Like the wrestling part of it's 5 hours long.
Yeah, but that's including 0 hour, right?
5, 5 with the 0 hour.
There's at least 6 matches on this card that'll be longer than 20 minutes.
Yeah. All right, let's hear what we got. What do we got?
All right, let's go.
Usually I don't really care about mentioning the pre-show, but I really like this team that's been forming.
We bring the boom. Conglomeration.
The conglomeration and Costco guy against Johnny TV, which is John Morrison. Alias.
He's only had 17 fucking names. He reminds me of Big Boss Man back in the 80s.
Literally, he always has a different name wherever he is.
He gets it. Yeah, that's not part of his gimmick.
Yeah, Johnny is going to be teaming up with the M&M Collective, the Maxim Models.
Yes.
Who I actually think are really fun.
Yeah, I like them way better now than they were in WWE.
Also, their pose at the end when they win.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
If they ever win.
Yeah. If they ever win. Yeah.
If they ever win.
Yeah, watch.
And I won't mention who's going to win because we all know that Big Boom AJ is going to drop the second most devastating spear in all of sports.
Yeah. Yeah, the good guys.
Yeah. I really like Orange Cassidy now.
Me too.
Yeah, I liked the gimmick before, but it was only going to get him so far. I like, I like his in-ring stuff a lot lately. So
he's good. He's solid. He's a solid worker.
He brings in the good things, so I like him. When he doesn't, I don't like it.
Let's get into one of the main 10. Lord knows, my goodness. Well, it's a good thing we have some time to go over it, but the AEW, which is a good way to start the pay-per-view, if that's the case, PLE, whatever the heck you want to call it. But the number one contenders match, it just became a number one contenders match. Actually, inexplicably, there's no reason why it is, because neither have been winning that much. Number one contenders match between Swerve and Ricochet.
Right. Right.
Ricochet is not worthy of a number one contenders.
He
No,
beat
he's
Swerve though. It's kind of like a
We
payback.
Swerve.
Yeah, but Swerve has also been on the receiving end of a beating from Hangman. He's been, he's.
Why isn't Hangman and MJF a number one contenders match?
That's the thing that I was going to mention.
If you're gonna freaking because I thought that was what you were gonna say. I had forgot that they made Swerve and Ricochet.
My problem with AEW's booking is the fact that Tony, because I know Tony Khan books it, or at least he tries.
Yeah.
He 1 week Hangman is a face, and then next week he's a heel, and there's no explanation for it.
Well, that's a problem all across wrestling nowadays.
Do they do that in WWE or TNA as much?
They
as
definitely do it in
AEW?
NXT. They definitely do it in NXT.
I would say TNA not as much. WWE probably even less.
Yeah, but NXT for sure. TNA they do it somewhat. Like there's definitely tweeners,
But Sami Callahan's a natural tweener. Frankie
Yeah.
Kazarian, Eric Young, they can go either way.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey yo.
Okay.
But yeah, they can go.
All right.
AC/DC.
A little bit. So I'm going to go clockwise, and Keith, you're on top right now. So Wildman, who do you have winning this one? Who do you have between Swerve and the O'Shea?
Ricochet.
Okay. Chad, how about you?
Swerve.
All right.
Got to go the opposite of Keith.
Yeah, that's true. If you want to be the betting man,
Fair strategy. Fair strategy. Fair strategy.
Swerve. I'm going with Swerve too.
Okay.
Not
Guys are wrong.
Not to be the gimmick, not to be the gimmick, but I would be very upset at them if they gave Ricochet the win, even though I feel like in this feud, there is nothing that this feud can do other than build Ricochet up because it's his first feud.
That's true.
And
he's trying to build himself.
Swerve's already been the champ.
Yeah.
This is obviously something that they're doing to elevate Ricochet. Swerve got the better of Ricochet during the contract signing. It could be, that Swerve is finally going to get the road back for Nana and but I don't see it ending yet. So I say Ricochet wins, man.
I have a question then. Damn, no, I forgot. Never mind. I hate that shit.
I
broke my toe last night and it hurts like a bitch. Sorry, I just had to say that. It's in a lot of pain.
Man, I broke my toe a year ago and it still hurts.
Yeah, dude. And I just keep looking at it and it's purple and red and gross. Okay, anyway, sorry. Dude, they can't do nothing for a broken toe. You know what I mean? They can't do anything.
I said the same thing, but then somebody made me go to the ER.
Yeah, well, I'm fine. It'll heal.
And
I can tell it's broke though. I definitely broke it. But anyway,
which
sorry.
One?
The second toe on my left foot.
That's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Anyway,
all right. Sorry guys. I just couldn't deal with it anymore.
Toes.
By the way, your second toe is not the middle.
No, it's not. You're right. That's why I fixed it. I fixed it, dude. I fixed it.
Yeah, he fixed it on the fly, bro.
I said the mid-second. Yeah, I fixed it, dude.
Unless you have 4 toes, which is already probably a.
Well, honestly some people do because
or 3. Maybe I only have 3 toes, and then my middle toe would be my second toe.
I mean, honestly, I call my wife 7 toes. So,
hey now,
7
12 toes. Shout out to Schoolhouse Rock.
I'm saying she had 2 or 3 amputated. So.
Yeah, damn. All right, fellas. So what do we got? 9 more matches on this pay-per-view to go through.
So I have Swerve winning because he makes the most sense to feud against Christian Cage.
Oh, that's right. I was gonna say something about Ricochet. I can't remember what the hell I was gonna say though.
He was gonna say that is his thing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say his whole life.
Oh, he's so irritating.
It is bad, but it's his gimmick how bad he is.
Yeah, now I remember what I was gonna say. It wouldn't make sense for Swerve to win simply because they are trying to build. Swerve. What Pablo said is true. Swerve has already been world champ, and
I'm the one who said that. Yeah.
Huh?
I'm the one who said that.
Yeah. I take full credit though.
One of you freaking said it. Okay, my mind is playing tricks off of me. I'm trying to be the Ghetto Boys.
It's all good. So wait, are you switching to my side? Are you saying Ricochet's going to win now?
Yeah, I switched my vote. Ricochet's gonna win.
Oh,
You've been convinced.
split 50-50. All right.
Okay.
Because
Go anyway.
there's no reason for
See,
Swerve
if
to
you
win
listen
because
to me, I make sense. It doesn't mean that it always happens, but like
exactly.
Well, that's the thing
Exactly.
we're doing, though. It's
I
we're
mean,
not
I mean,
going with what makes sense.
I've
Yeah.
been listening to
Tony
Keith for
Khan is
30
booking.
years to look where I am now.
Tony
Right.
Khan is not really going for what makes sense some of the times. A lot of the
Fair.
times,
You gotta figure out the wall.
sounds
I mean,
good to him.
I mean, if Tony Khan did what made sense, then he wouldn't have. Then he would have gave Cody his contract and not let him go to WWE.
Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Or he
Fair.
would have
True.
done more with Britt Baker.
Yeah.
That's true.
Who knows? All right, we have the next one is a championship match.
Okay.
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 Okada, aka the Japanese goat,
Yeah.
Brody King.
Ooh.
Oh man.
D'Lo, you go first this time. Who do you think wins between this? Do you think Okada retains or Brody King finally gets some gold?
I'm going with Okada retaining. I don't know who's gonna be in for this one. I don't know. I honestly don't know who's gonna be in for that title. I honestly don't.
Personally, I don't know who beats Okada.
Takeshita.
Real, I mean, serious. Like, I don't know
Takeshita.
who
Cool
does.
with Takeshita, but I don't see it right now because Takeshita is a champion.
Right.
Unless you want to merge
At
belts.
least for now.
Now the question with Okada's title is I don't know. I forgot that too. See, my mind is going, dude.
But remember, we have 8 other matches on this, and then so there's
Yeah.
you just have to get some results and some guesses.
Yeah. Let's just
So who do you think, Okada or King? Chad.
Me? Okada.
Okay, I go for Okada as well because
Yeah. I mean, as
Nobody's
much hype
beating
as they've
Okada.
been given, the Hounds of Hell, it hasn't translated into like big victories. So I
I
say
mean,
Okada.
Buddy didn't beat him, so I don't see Brody beating him either.
I say Okada wins it too.
I thought Buddy had the best chance to beat him at home, but no, it's not going to be.
I did too.
Me too. Right.
I did too.
All right, another championship match. There's another championship match.
This AEW has 95 titles.
Yes, the heck they do, and they're literally just props at this point. But the Hurt Syndicate, being Bobby and Shelton, facing the Outrunners.
Ooh, I take the Outrunners all day.
Ooh.
That's a
That's a bullshit.
D'Lo, who do you think is going?
We heard people, the Hurt Syndicate business.
Keith, yeah, I see you.
Oh, I want the Outrunners to win so bad, but the Hurt Syndicate's going to win.
Yeah, I agree with Keith.
I want the Outrunners to win so bad.
I know, me too. I love
that was just like at the Elimination Chamber. I wanted Zayn to win so bad, but I knew Kevin Owens was going to beat him.
I still thought it was weird the way Kevin Owens did beat him, though.
Well,
yeah, that was strange. Yeah,
two apron bombs and then a pin. It just seemed kind of weird. No,
right. It was a lot. It was a lot.
Power driver at all. All right, so I think is it a clean sweep? Even though I like the Outrunners, but they're too late in the party.
I would love the Outrunners to win the belts.
They should have put it on him in that 6-pack match or whatever it was.
They should have. I agree.
They should have beaten.
It would have made sense for him to win then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, from what I understand, they're trying to build up FTR and Outrunners feud or something.
Weird.
But them turning or FTR turning?
I see FTR turning more than anything.
FTR turning.
Yeah.
Turn on Cope
turns, no?
No, they could turn on Cope.
Yeah, they can.
I don't want to turn on anybody.
Say no.
I don't want them to turn either, but I heard they're going to turn on Cope and then they're going to have a feud with Outrunners, but I hope that doesn't happen.
Maybe we'll see. I don't know. Be the old school teams wrestling each other. I mean,
yeah. We were there. So we got I cannot see the Hurt Syndicate giving it up, especially.
It's unfortunate, but
bad time.
So speaking of unfortunate, we have one of the longest reigning champions in the business right now in the Mercedes Moné.
Mm-hmm.
She is once again. Well, I believe Momo won a #1 contenders match. That's what I had seen.
Yep.
And that's why this is happening. So TBS championship between Mercedes Moné versus Momo Watanabe. Who wins? Keith.
Mercedes.
Chad.
Mercedes.
D'Lo.
You already know I'm going with. You already know.
I'm going with the one that's named after a car.
Yeah, I know.
I have not heard of the new 2025 Watanabe.
Well,
The first
Yeah,
match was
indeed.
really
well,
good.
I
So I'm
mean,
looking forward to it. I seen that at Capitol Clip.
if what
Yeah.
if
So
what
I'm
everybody's
looking
saying
forward
is
to it.
true, Monet has creative, so she's gonna be the champion for like 17 years.
Whenever
I
ever.
feel like
if
if
you
you
have all
have
that
creative,
money,
you want to create some dynamics, though. That's the only thing. Like, why not lose?
to
I don't know. I
Megan
mean,
Doesn't make
she's
sense.
got 5 titles, right? She still got 5, or she back down to 4.
I think
She
she
only
has
got 4.
4. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Monet only loses to Megan Bain. That's the only thing I can see.
I can
Makes sense.
definitely see that.
Yeah. All right. This is going to be an interesting one. We're getting to the next half. So that was the first half of the matches.
All
The
right.
next half of the matches are very big storyline driven. So
Cinema.
MJF against Hangman. No stipulations, no like regular. It's just literally a grudge match between MJF and Hangman.
Basically, you have heel on heel, right? Or did
No,
I miss that?
Hangman's a
Hangman's on
tweener.
the face.
Yeah,
Hangman is
Hangman's.
definitely a tweener.
Yeah, he's just tough.
Yeah, tweener.
Yeah, he's just
And MJF exists in the ether too because he's so over, but he's also just naturally an asshole. He can be an
Right.
asshole and a face. He'd still be a
Yeah.
So who wins between these two polarizing former champions?
Who's going first?
Chad, you first.
MJF.
Okay. Keith?
Paige.
I have MJF. D'Lo?
Well, I'm gonna go with I had Hangman too winning this. So.
Hey, no.
I think Hangman's the right one to win it, but I feel like it would be weird for MJF to lose.
I agree with Pablo.
I feel like it would be weird, but then again, weirder things have happened.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that it's hard to tell what they're gonna do. You know, like MJF gets a ton of talking time, you know, but
but see what I mean, even though MJF is a douche and a lot of people don't like him, he's that means he's doing his job. But number 2, he doesn't wrestle very often. If anybody's noticed, he talks shit all the time. Like almost every show or every other show, but he never wrestles. The only time he wrestled on a consistent basis, and anybody correct me if I'm wrong, was when he was the champion,
the open weight champ or whatever. Yeah.
When he was the champ with Cole.
With Adam Cole, yeah.
He wrestled like all the time, but before that, even when he was champion, he didn't wrestle. He barely wrestled, and it was only on pay-per-views.
I feel like the idea is that MJF is talking all this crap about how tough he is, but Adam Page is actually tough.
Yeah, he is.
You know, and I think that's what it's going to come down to, and I think that's why Page is going to win. But
yeah, I mean, you could be right, like Pablo said. Stranger things have happened. You know.
Yep.
Right.
All right. Speaking of strange things, we have the former tag team turned bitter enemies in a steel cage. So somebody's going to jump off of something. Will Ospreay against Kyle Fletcher.
Crikey.
Oh man.
Crikey, D'Lo. Who do you think is going to win it?
It's so hard.
I'm going with Kyle Fletcher for the upset.
Oh man. Chad, who do you think?
Ospreay.
Who do you think, Keith?
Okay. Oh, I think it depends on how long they want to stretch this out.
It's going to be
go for 40 minutes if they want to.
Well, no, I don't mean the match. I mean the angle, the Mark Davis thing. Yeah. Because I think one of two things is going to happen. What's his face? Don Callis is either going to somehow get Mark Davis into the cage. Well, that's going to happen. Mark Davis is going to get in the cage, and he's either going to tell him to get Ospreay and help Fletcher win. And Davis is either going to help Fletcher win or be done with it and turn on them. I just don't know which is going to happen.
Or I just had a thought.
Especially the way they teased it on the last show. Davis seemed very, very reluctant.
Yeah.
You know, but
Well,
so it
guess-
just depends
I
on how
just had
long
a
they're going to
thought. What
stretch it.
if? I just had a thought. When Keith is done, I'll go for it.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I guess I'll go with Fletcher with interference from Mark Davis just to keep that thing rolling a little bit longer. But it could, yeah,
part of me is hoping that this is the end and that Ospreay wins it.
right.
Even though I feel like this whole entire thing is Ospreay getting Kyle Fletcher over because they feel Kyle Fletcher is going to trump.
Well, that's exactly what Omega did with Gabe Kidd.
Mm-hmm.
Omega wrestled him in Dynasty because people thought that Gabe Kidd was going to be the next, don't pun intended, next big thing. So they wanted somebody with a name to wrestle him and put him over.
Right.
Yeah. Also,
Right.
Bullet Club doing the service.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bullet Club members, Intercontinental Championship match,
Hmm.
the Alpha against the Omega.
It's a continental.
We have Konosuke Takeshita, and that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
against Kenny Omega. Keith, who you got?
Omega.
All right. D'Lo, who you got?
It's Takashita, and he's getting the W again.
You pronounced it wrong.
We're gonna have this debate forever.
It's not your gimmick, sir.
Forever.
Back to catering you go. Chad, who do you got between these two?
Omega.
I got Omega just because I just like to see him hold some gold and
Omega's the damn EVP. He can do whatever he wants, just like the idiots did.
Also, Takeshita's had it for long enough, and he doesn't need it.
And it's a good story. Omega's just coming back from his near-death experience. It's a good story.
I think it'd be good. Speaking of good stories, we have the most organic champion, the face of AEW at this point, and a new movie star because of Queen of the Ring.
I know.
The champion, Timeless Tony Storm, aka Thicker Mariah May,
delicious,
against the aforementioned Mariah May for the championship. Falls Count Anywhere.
Ooh, tasty.
So, Chad, who do you think will win between Tony Storm and Mariah May?
Tony.
All right. We got Keith seconded that.
I did indeed. Yeah.
Tony time.
Is it a unanimous?
It's Tony time. Yeah.
It is Tony time, and she needs to keep it. She needs to keep it.
Yep.
Hope Tony Storm, because I do not want to see people juggling just, here's the title, here's the title, here's the title. She's already a 4-time title holder. She has to have it for a year and never have it again.
Right.
And speaking of another championship that we want to move hands and we never want to see them have it again, 4-time champion Jon Moxley is facing Cope.
No job. Mox is going to lose if we're lucky.
So you already know what I think is going to happen, but I'll mention it again. I think that Cope wins it and Christian Cage cashes in immediately.
Yep, that's what I think too.
It's got to be the only thing. Got to be the case. It's the best for business. It's the best thing you can do. John does not need it anymore.
But the problem is, no job. Mox won't job.
But it's not a job when you're facing somebody at your level.
Yeah.
It's just at this point, it's best for business. It's the best story you can have.
It's just like with everybody.
It's
just like with those guys who are in the Blackpool Combat Club. None of them would lose. They always, whether it was best for business or not, none of them would ever lose. Whether it was Claudio or Brian, and if you notice, and I could be wrong because I've been known to be wrong once or twice. When they did lose, Wheeler always took the pin.
Yeah, and he started to win more, which makes me think that they're going to turn the corner though. Because Wheeler's the one that's actually starting to be more like he's the one that's really showing himself to be ruthless.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it would make sense for John to drop it when he did, because he's got edge. Cope has gotten the better of him the last few weeks. And I would like to see John against or Cope against Jay White, or like John against somebody that's not champion, where he can just he can beef with an actual faction because he's a part of a faction.
Another thing I've been thinking about is MJF is been talking about getting back to Triple B. So, and if he's heel, then it's not going to happen because unless they do a heel versus heel match.
Well, that's why I think that Cage is going to have it, and then he might drop it to Samoa Joe at some point. And then MJF will get his one up back from Samoa Joe.
Interesting timeline.
Long-term booking is usually
interesting,
but I would like it to be a thing for AEW as well. And that was the whole entire card, all of those. And by the way, Amazon Prime is now carrying AEW, but you still have to pay.
Right, it's still a pay-per-view, yeah.
They gotta get on Max with that deal. Get a
pay. Still like $40 or whatever.
And it's
even if you have Prime, you still have to pay for the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Yep.
Which kills the purpose.
And I know here
it's
once
just more
in a
distribution,
while,
I guess. You know.
I know here once in a while they hold them at select movie theaters. Where you can go and watch them
on Circuit TV or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. We have 5, I believe, count them, 5 matches for NXT. We'll go through them. We will talk about them.
And Roadblock is once again just a regular Tuesday show.
Yeah,
because NXT puts pay-per-view quality stuff on Tuesdays.
Yeah, they did it.
Yeah, Roadblock is supposed to be just like a pay-per-view, but it's on TV, kind of like the Clashes were, right?
Yeah.
All right. By the way, it is also in New York City.
Yeah, it is. Madison Square Garden, baby.
Our home.
Yeah, it's the MSG, and they said in the theater, but it's not in the same arena that Raw's, and it's in a different theater or something.
I'm not sure.
It's not Hammerstein. No, is it just like the lower MSG? Because MSG has so many different stages inside of it.
Yeah.
Right.
That I mean, I'm surprised because WWE usually doesn't run MSG anymore because they up the rent so much for the building.
Mm-hmm.
Did they?
Because the Knicks are doing
it's outrageous though, which is why no wrestling is hardly ever there.
That makes sense though.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna mention them in order. I believe it might be in order of the matches, but I'm just on the Sportster right now. Shout out to them. Okay. I'm checking out their list. And the first one that comes up is an interesting one. It's Obafemi against Moose for the NXT Championship. It's not title for title. I believe it's just for the NXT Championship.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like it's obvious, but I'd like to see if there's any shenanigans and all of that, because one person's a part of a big faction that's known for shenanigans. But between the two Nigerian monsters, which they like to call themselves, who do you have, D-Lo, between Obafemi and Moose?
Oba retains, and this is just the appetizer.
I like it. So we'll see it again. Okay. I like
it. Well, the trick and Oba. That's what I've been saying for the last 6 months. That's the advanced stand 11.
Oh, okay. I can see Trick and Oba would definitely be, even though Trick is coming off of a loss.
Yeah. He's on his payback.
Mm-hmm. But Oba is the babyface, and then Trick is the heel.
No, Trick gonna be the baby.
Oba can do either, man. Oba just flips back and forth.
Oba's a tweener as well. But I think Trick is missing that edge where I think he needs to go heel.
I mean, he's kind of been hinting at it a little bit.
Exactly, because of how much he's been attacking.
They're telling Ava to shut the hell up and stuff, and
going on Javon, about to pop him in the face.
Yeah.
He's going crazy. So but he's hinting at it. But
all right, Keith, who do you have? Who do you have between these two?
So first of all, speaking of appetizers, it'd be nice to see Alicia Edwards there.
Hey now.
I was thinking different appetizers.
And Obafemi, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I think, and it's weird because when JDC was on NXT, he was a babyface.
So we know it's Fandango.
Yeah, so the systems dynamic is weird in NXT. So I don't know if they'll actually interfere in the match or not. But
Moose is definitely heel. But it is interesting how they did that.
Yeah.
I think he was forced to be a babyface because people just remember him.
I hate Lexix King so much. And they remember Fandango, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And Lexus King is like the most annoying human. So, yeah.
So between the two Nigerian
Fandango.
wrestlers, I say that because the smaller guy is 6'5", 270.
Yeah.
Damn.
To be honest, they're both huge. They're both
It's
just
yeah.
massive.
Bruce was slimmed down a little bit from what I remember last time I seen him.
Yeah,
He
he's
doing
a slim
flips and shit.
270.
Right. Moose looks small next to Oba, and to think that he's 6'5" and 270 is wild.
Right.
Yes.
It's
Wow.
crazy.
I think personally Oba wins. And Keith, do you agree? Chad, do you agree?
Yeah, make it a clean sweep.
Clean sweep, but I think it just makes sense. You can't take the TNA title off of him.
Yep.
All right, and we
Or the
have
NXT title.
Oh yeah, you can't take the NXT title. Oh yeah.
It's for the,
Oh.
wait. Is it for the NXT title or the?
It's for the NXT title. It's not
It's
for
for the
both.
NXT title.
The NXT
Yeah.
title.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It seemed like it was a winner takes all, but we know that there is only one winner takes all on this card.
Oh,
Mhm.
and I'm
Jordan
pissed
Grace
about it.
against
Can't do it
Roxanne
twice.
Perez is the next one.
Mm-mm.
Jordan Grace, being that this is her coming out party as an official NXT member, and Roxanne Perez, who is pretty much on her way out of NXT. And they've already fought before, but this is going to be a,
Payback.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So who wins between Big Mama Pump and little
Fun size pump.
He said Big
Fun
Mama
size
Pump.
So I'm
Big
going
Mama
Big
Pump? Yeah,
Mama
that's
Pump.
what she was
That's
going
That
with.
was her
shit.
gimmick. Yeah.
That was her whole gimmick at first. That's why she comes out to
Yeah.
the signs.
Yep.
So Chad, who do you think wins between these two ladies?
I can't stand Jordan Grace, but it's not for a wrestling matter. I say Jordan wins.
Yeah, that's first.
All right.
Sounds first.
Wild.
Why? So D'Lo, who do you think wins?
I'm going with Jordan. She getting her payback.
All right, Keith.
Yeah, Jordan.
It's a clean sweep again. Roxanne cannot win because she's on her way out.
Yeah.
If you're on your way out, then why would you be in?
Exactly.
See the lights.
And they have to set up Jordan against the eventual champion, because literally what they've been doing the entire time. All right, another grudge match, which I'm kind of over already. Javon Evans versus Ethan Page in a New York City street fight, which I don't know what that entails, unless
how that's any different than the last match that they had. But
floppy pizza, maybe a rat. No, I've been in many
bacon,
New
egg, and
York street
cheese.
fights before, Lord knows, but like I don't know what's going to be the difference. Why do they have to keep naming the place that they're in? This
they'll
is like,
go to the sewers and get an alligator.
They keep doing it, like Australian street fight, like a Tennessee street fight, like all this stuff.
It can just be a street fight. Yeah.
Ethan Page looks like he's having a falling out, and Javon Evans is the golden boy for some reason, and Javon Evans lost at Vengeance Day because of his broken jaw, and he's fully healthy now. So, and he looks more violent now.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do much for Ethan Page to win right now because his whole gimmick is that he's a loser right now. So I have Javon Evans winning and showing a darker side. D'Lo, who do you have winning between these two?
I'm gonna follow the same thing, Javon.
All right, Keith, who do you have?
I'm gonna go with Ethan Page.
All right.
Yeah.
I personally would like Ethan Page to win. Kind of like the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn aspect. I think it would make sense.
Right.
How about you? Chad, how about you? You hear me?
Javon.
All right. That works.
I want Javon Evans to ever win a match again. Just being honest. Got irritates me.
We have
so bad.
This is going to be the most interesting tag match of the year. Of the last 2 years, I would say. This is it's staggering how they're trying exactly. But there's another caveat that I just realized. It's not for the NXT titles.
No, it's just TNA. Yeah.
It's just the TNA title, I believe.
So TNA champions, the legendary Hardy Boys, went out of their way, and they want to fight the best tag team in WWE, probably the best tag team in wrestling of last year, Fraxium, Nathan Frazier, and Axiom. So between the GOATs and the current best tag team for the GOATs tag team championships, who is going to win? Keith.
All right. So, first of all, the greatest tag team of all time is Stan Lane and Bobby Eaton. So,
Yes,
let's say
he's
that.
right.
Second of all, I mean, no matter what the narrative is, second of all, I think that the Hardys beating Fraxium is ridiculous. But I think we're going to get a 3-match series. I think Fraxium takes the TNA titles in this match. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Hey now.
Wow.
Yep. See, that's why that's why
something has to happen eventually. You know what I mean? This whole NXT TNA thing somebody has to win a big match at some point.
Yes.
And I say Fraxium wins the TNA tag titles.
Okay, that's the first, because I was wondering when they would do it as far as like having a TNA title go to NXT or vice versa.
Exactly. Yeah. I've been wondering the same thing,
but
dude.
But I mean, so I think they're going to have a rematch, and I think it's going to be for the NXT belts. And it's so simplistic, but I think the Hardys take the NXT belts, and then they do a winner takes all. That's
Hardys wouldn't be taking the NXT because they're fighting for the TNA championship.
No, I mean in the second match. Okay. I'm doing I think that's how it would.
He's doing.
It's very simplistic, but I think that's how it's going to play out because it's wrestling, and why not have it be easy and simple?
Yeah,
it's
kind of like the 7-match series with Benoit and Booker.
Yeah, but this would just be 3 matches.
This would only be 3 matches.
Yeah, swap belts back and forth, and then one team takes them all.
I'll get my take. I'll get my take out. I think it's going to be a DQ because the Rascals come in, and then it's going to set up a triple between them on WrestleMania weekend.
Because Fraxium and the Rascals have been having a little bit of beef over on TNA. That makes sense.
Oh yeah.
And Fraxium sat in between the Rascals and the Hardys match, and they interfered a bit. So I feel like they're going to, I'd say technically the Hardys win because it would be a DQ.
Right.
So they'll maintain the championships, whether or not they get beat up by the Rascals or Fraxium gets beat up by the Rascals. I suppose it's a non sequitur because it's got to be. I think Matt and Jeff keep their titles until the WrestleMania weekend, and then maybe they drop it to Fraxium or the Rascals for that matter.
Gotcha.
All right, and then D-Lo, who do you think wins between these two very good tag teams?
Well, I had the Hardys by DQ as well, but this is where the system came to play, and they Bias Fast is about to get it. Lights go out and they attack, and they're just like, no, we shall not. We shan't have an NXT team take out TNA titles or some type of shit like that. Shan't, yes. I like that. We shan't.
Did we lose Chad for now? Or Chad?
No, I'm right here.
Yeah, no, he's here.
I don't see your picture anymore, but who do you have?
Yeah, I don't know why it did that, dude. It does that with me sometimes, and I have no idea why.
It's all good. Who do you think wins between Fraxium and Hardys?
Actually, this might shock you, but I kind of agree with Keith. The 3-way series, or the 3-match series. So I'm going to go with Fraxium.
That's right.
I think it would be really cool considering that this would be the first, and we don't really know if it's ever going to happen, but it would be nice if there was somebody from TNA that wins the WWE title or vice versa.
Yeah.
I think it would show that it would give them a reason to be on the other brand. And if we're being honest, Fraxium has nowhere else to go other than going to the main roster where they might just be lost in the fray.
I think they do well on SmackDown. I don't know how well they do on Raw.
But. Now, is it true that I read, I think I heard or I read maybe a few days ago or a week ago or something that the Hardys are expected to do a run on the main roster? I just don't know what show.
Who knows? I don't know if that's anything that's
I
been
don't want
decided
it.
yet.
And most they'll be there at
Right.
WrestleMania weekend, but
Right.
I just no. I hope not. There's a reason why they're in TNA, and I think Jeff and Matt need to give TNA some love, considering that TNA has made their careers.
Right.
Reinvigorated.
And for one of them, he ruined TNA after a while, but then he ended up coming back, and it looks like it's his reckoning. Jeff Hardy,
Yeah.
and he wants to do good by TNA, and I think they're doing well, especially with giving some love to Fraxium, being that they are the next up. All right. Speaking of giving some love, which is what I want to do to both of these ladies,
Mainly Stephanie.
the most
Mount
wonderful,
Rushmore.
consensual way, we have a winners take all, which is interesting considering that I said a while ago that Stephanie Vaquer was too good for the mid card title.
Yeah.
I think that is
Now
going,
it seems like
going to
there's
be
not going to be a
proven
mid card title.
She's going to have both. So winners take all. The injured NXT Women's Champion Julia versus Thick Elvira, NXT Women's North American Champion Stephanie Vaquer. And you already heard how I think Vaquer wins it because Julia has to rehab and she has to get better, and she's also done a lot already. And I think Vaquer versus Jordan Grace is the WrestleMania weekend match that we all want to see.
Ooh.
Double title, maybe one title is up for grabs, maybe both. Who knows? In that, but so I think that dual wielding championships, Stephanie Vaquer. Keith, you're next. Who do you think wins this?
Okay, so I want to say a little bit because for those of you who watch NXT on a regular basis or who haven't been, they just started calling it a unification match this past week.
Oh no.
So I'm wondering if that means the North American title's gone.
Oh no.
Which disappoints me.
But
And they literally did corrections. Like I don't remember who, maybe Corey said title for title, and then Booker was like the unification match. And they called it a unification match multiple times.
Well, I think winners take all kind of encompasses. It would kind of make me think winner takes all would be a unification.
I hope so.
I think like
I
the
hope
Keith
so.
Lee one.
Because getting rid of the North American title this soon is a mistake.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because my baby girl has to win it back.
You know why they're doing it though, right? Titles.
Right, but I mean, and if anybody like without the North American title, there's nothing for Kalani Jordan. There's nothing for Izzy Dame. There's nothing for Fallon Henley. There's nothing. You know what I mean?
Continental in U.S.
Right, but those are main roster belts. I mean, if they started bringing them down, I mean, sure. But like right now, I just feel like there's a lot of mid-card talent in NXT as far as the women's division goes. And they're not going to elevate everybody. So taking away that North American title is a mistake, unless, like you said, the Intercontinental Champions and the U.S. Champion are going to start visiting
I think
more.
we need to just make NXT the third brand. Because if they already have Evolve,
but I go with Stephanie too
for a long time.
But yeah, it would make sense. They treat it like it is already. All it is that they're just not saying it by name. But you combine them, then you can start. You can start having these matches like maybe a Kalani Jordan versus Alba Fire, or you can have Sol Ruka against Michin, and like and because there needs to be more for the Intercontinental and United States champions on the women's side. And they're not doing much, and they got to make it more interesting. Yeah, it's too early though, considering there's only been 3 or 4 of those champions.
There's been 2 North American champions.
Yeah,
Kalani won the tournament.
Wasn't it?
Then she lost to Fallon, and that's all. And
then the third is Stephanie.
Right.
Okay, so there's 3 now. You're right. Yeah, 3 champions. Yeah.
So for someone who hasn't watched NXT very much, how long has that title been around?
The last year.
9 months.
They made it last year. Yeah.
Well, 10
months. 2024.
Okay.
I was in labor.
So it hasn't been that long, so it doesn't make sense to get rid of it. You're
My
right.
mother was in
weird.
labor
What
for
Keith
me
Lee did.
with me for
Same way
longer
he
than
did it.
Belt's been alive.
That's
Right. But yeah, I think Stephanie's gonna win. I think that her and Jada Parker
Jada
are
Parker.
gonna have a
Mouth.
fierce match. I think it's gonna
Mouth.
be brutal, man.
Mouth.
It's gonna be fun to watch.
That's
Poor
gonna be
Jordan.
delicious.
Well, yeah, they're building Jada Parker up as the next contender. I definitely think. I mean, I don't think she's going to wrestle Jordan right away. I think Jada Parker will be the stopgap in between. And I think the match is going to be badass.
Fuck yes.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So I got 3 so far, right? We
Mhm.
got 3 predictions. D-Lo, did you have a
Stephanie.
prediction?
I'm going with Stephanie, of course.
And then
Saucy
Booker T
stuff.
is going to have a great time announcing.
Me
announcing
too. We will have
Oh,
a
and
good time,
Stephanie
too.
against Jada Parker.
I'm having a
Booker T
great
might
time
have to
watching
leave the
that.
table.
I might have to leave the table.
I ain't leaving the screen.
Man,
My eyes gonna be glued.
might be problems with that one.
Eyes are gonna be wide open for that.
Yeah.
All right.
Man.
Yeah, I think it has to be Vaquer because Julia is hurt.
Right.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know she was
And
injured.
she
Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah,
she's
I
a
didn't
better
know she
heel,
was hurt
too.
either.
Julia is a better heel than she is a face. For being
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Even though she's cute and like that seems like it would be like a face thing, but no, like she's like a Roxanne a little bit. And
Right.
chasing after she gets healed up would actually be really nice because Stephanie Vaquer is a face. And she has a nice
Yeah.
face.
She does indeed. She's a pretty girl.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't give you her number, but hit me up. All right, we got that. Got those out of the way. There's plenty wrestling that's going to be happening. Lord knows.
Yeah. Sacrifice on the 14th too, which will
Nobody
be
asked me about.
happening. Oh, Stephanie and Julia.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, brother?
You said Julia's injured. Like, how bad is the injury?
Bad enough that she has to get some time off. Yeah.
Well, then in that case, it's Steph.
Yeah.
Never knew about the injury, but
I'm not gonna lie, it would be too much to mention the card for Sacrifice.
I know, dude, but there's so much stuff happening.
There's so much. We can mention
Cora and Masha
next.
You know,
Cora and Masha.
Wait, is that pay-per-view
against Wes Lee's group?
Is
right?
that
The big 10-man tag is huge. Nick Nemeth's coming back.
Our next podcast.
Yeah, it's the 14th. It's before we come on again, so we'll have to at least give results if we're not going to give predictions. But
okay.
Yeah, so we'll give some results, but specifically the big matches: Moose against Jeff Hardy in a ladder match for the X Division Championship.
Oh man, I want Jeff to win that one.
It would make sense if Jeff wins it if they drop the titles to Fraxium.
Yeah.
Masha against Cora, which is going to be really nice, but Cora takes that loss, and then a very big tag match.
Yeah, in a cage.
Wait, you said it was a 10-man? Is it like one of the cages from Lockdown?
It was originally just going to be a 10-man tag team match, but they've been interfering in each other's matches so much that Santino Marella made it in a cage.
Yes, he did.
But the cage's got to be huge, so it can't be like.
It's going to be 10 guys in a cage. I don't know exactly how they're going to.
One team is extremely random, and the other ones is the Colognes against the System.
Right, right. The babyface team is odd. Yeah, it's just.
Who's on the babyface team? I don't know anything about that.
Hendry, Elijah, Matt Hardy, Leon Slater, and Nick Nemeth.
Yeah.
Who the hell is Leon Slater?
Leon Slater is this kid from England who is very, very good. And they've been pushing him as the next big star in TNA.
Yeah, so I know Joe Hendry. I know Elijah is Elias, right?
Yeah.
All right, and I know Nick Nemeth, and I know Matt Hardy.
Yeah, so Nick Nemeth and Joe Hendry on the same team right now, considering
that's going to be interesting, right?
Coming in maybe.
Yeah.
Who's on the heel team?
It's the
System in the Colognes.
The three lesser.
It's not Eddie Edwards, right?
It is Eddie Edwards, JDC, and Brian Myers.
Oh, not Moose. My bad. Yeah, not Moose. Yeah.
Who's JDC? That's Fandango. Somebody
Yep.
said,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's
Johnny
Fandango.
Dango Curtis.
Why?
says it.
Why did they?
Yeah.
Why? My bad. Why the name change?
Because
I don't know.
JDC sounds super cool.
A little bit.
It sounds a lot better than
JDC,
Dango.
baby. Sounds cool. You know?
Wasn't he Dango or
Yeah.
some
Right,
kind
he
of
was Dirty
Dirty
Dango for a
Dango.
while,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Dirty Dango.
Yeah.
And then
He
he,
was
and
Dirty
then he changed
Dango.
his name to JDC, and he went with the system.
Yep.
The
Dirty
Colognes
Dango.
also changed.
Yeah, I know a
their-
little bit about TNA.
Right on.
I just don't know a whole lot.
It should be a good one. Yeah, there's 4 major pay-per-views, PLEs coming up
Yeah.
next week.
Now,
so
I believe Sacrifice would be a streaming event. Yes.
Well, it's a pay-per-view.
it's on
It's
TNA
You
Plus.
can purchase it. Yeah, it's on TNA Plus.
a lot.
But yeah, I do think that Cora's going to have a good showing, but I think, like I said, her teaming with Tessa Blanchard's going to backfire on her.
Right.
That's what I
Don't
think.
trust
Yeah.
that, folks. Don't
Yeah,
trust.
man.
Don't trust it.
There needs to be a mixed tag: the
Hey,
racist
that's not a
against
lie.
the non-racist. Tessa and Hogan against somebody.
Yeah.
You know.
That's Hogan gets
Hogan
killed
Simple
now.
Explode. Hogan Simple Explode.
Good, then we don't gotta see him no more.
Right?
Racist prick.
All right, we've got
Cody and
Tell us how you
Chelsea.
really feel.
those down. We
Alright.
did a heck of a lot of. Keith, you want to sign us out? Tell them
Yeah,
where
man. So,
where they can find us and all of that and all the
yeah.
ways.
everybody,
Oh, I'm
Keith,
sorry.
thank
I'm
you
sorry,
so much.
I'm sorry.
ahead.
Chad did mention that he wanted to say something after you.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I was just saying, Keith, should we mention the deal that
Yeah,
we're
I got
gonna
it.
do?
I got it. Yeah, I got
Alright,
it.
Good looking.
Yeah, I got it. No problem. I got you, brother. Because I'm gonna mention the stuff that we all do. D'Lo has a SoundCloud podcast that you can check out. What's your podcast called, brother?
D-Lo
I should
show.
know it by now.
D-Lo
What is
show.
the D'Lo Show? There you go. Check out the D'Lo Show on SoundCloud. Check out Pablo slinging food in the brick oven busts.
And I also might be playing some Madden on Twitch.
Oh, there you go. Hell yeah.
You got the 5 or the app.
Which Madden, dude?
Madden 24, or no, what is it? Madden 25, getting ready for. Or is it 25 that's coming out in August?
Yeah, I believe so.
26.
26.
26.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm playing
Yeah.
25, and then I'm playing that to build up to the draft because I want to link them up where I draft the same people and all of that. Like,
Nice.
Oh, system, dude.
oh, it's the Xbox One.
All right, cool.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So Chad also has a wrestling collectibles business called Midwest Wrestling Collectibles. You can check them out on Facebook. They've got a YouTube channel. They're on Instagram. You can get all kinds of cool, super cool wrestling stuff. They're old school figures and videos and magazines and T-shirts, dude. Pretty much anything you're looking for. You can go get your wrestle on with Chad and check that out at Midwest Wrestling Collectibles. As far as I'm going, you know, I've got the Most Excellent Entertainment podcast. We're going to be putting out an interview with Mr. Evan Ginsberg, executive producer of The Wrestler. He also has a new book out. We talked music a lot more than we did wrestling, though, and it was a good conversation. It was a lot of fun. I am in the process of producing a movie. If you want to freaking sponsor my Indiegogo, it's Swipe Right is the name of the movie. It's on Indiegogo. The campaign is stalled a little bit, so come on, man, help a brother out. And, yeah, aside from that, we are here every single Saturday with the man, Tyler Martin, running production, getting us out there for everybody to see. ME Studios, there's a Patreon, there is a YouTube umbrella. Check out ME Studios and check out all the cool stuff that Tyler does. Check out all the cool stuff that we all do. And we will see you guys next week for another amazing episode. I want to thank all of my co-hosts. I want to thank Johnny Boston, who's already dipped out on us. But yeah, man, we'll see y'all next week for more Roundtable Wrestling.
Yeah.